Ooh, trigger those cheekbones. Well, it's my face. I don't know. So, yeah, I thought I'd go live tonight and I was planning to do a reading stream, but I realized I don't really have the energy for that tonight. It's been kind of a crazy weekend, doing a lot, and um, yeah, I guess I'll start there. My friend came to visit me from out of town. We did a lot of shopping, which was fun. And hi, Galahad. So yeah, we shopped. You saw possibly the karaoke videos I uploaded. There's more, but I probably won't subject you all to them. We went to a concert as well, and just ate a lot of food. It's always nice when somebody comes to visit because you appreciate like where you live a bit more. It's fun to share all the neat little places. And obviously, where I live is a pretty fun place to visit from out of town. So, um, oh man, I got a massage. We went and got massages yesterday too, but I seem to have hurt my neck again. Like the guy worked really well on my neck and stuff, but today I don't know, I did something to it and now it's like super bugging me. So hopefully that'll get resolved. Hi Galahad, how is it going? Well, I'm talking about that. So yeah, I'm good. I'm a little tired. I haven't even really unpacked everything I bought. And I got like tons of samples because we went like makeup shopping and ended up getting all these perfume samples. Actually, where did we head up? We went to like Nordstrom, and then we hit up Sephora, and we hit up the next day we went to this Goodwill boutique. So it's a Goodwill, but they stock like pretty much anything unique, vintage, name brand kind of items. So I ended up getting some perfume from them, and I'm really liking this one. I hadn't like come upon it before, but I got a nice new roller ball of the Daisy by Marc Jacobs, and I'm loving that. And then I got another perfume I haven't worn because I've just worn this the past 2 days since buying that. And I got a shirt there. What else did we do? I don't remember. What did we do that day? All the days are kind of blurring together. But we had fun. No, I don't think the massage place wrecked me at all, Galahad. I don't think it was their fault. No, I think I kind of did something to my neck today, actually. Looking at that dang phone, I'm holding it in my hand. I'm looking down on it, like my neck gets, sore. Can't be doing that. Can't be on that phone like that. So I don't know, maybe I need to go back and get another massage. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. But yeah, and then we went next day. We had plans to do the karaoke, but the place like had the wrong hours on their website. So we showed up a couple of hours early and we ended up going to like Zara and H&M. So I don't know, I never really even go there, but we found a bunch of stuff. So I got like a new dress and some like nice tights that are warm for fall and winter. And I don't even know. I think I got some like little bow earrings and I got more stuff. I can't even remember now. I think I got some like glitter too, body glitter. Being a consumer, It's fun though, and she got a bunch of cool stuff. She got some work clothes because she's also a business professional. So she got some really nice blazers and workwear. And oh yeah, we went to all these Japanese shops too. So there's a number of, oh my God, maybe I should do an unboxing. Maybe I should like, because I got this vintage fur beret made out of mink fur, and I've wanted a fur beret for years. But I haven't really found one in person. And then I've looked online, but like, I don't know, buying fur online is kind of I want to see it in person. So yeah, there's this vintage shop that we went into next to the one of the Japanese stores. There's a number. She got a bunch of stuff. She's a total weeb, my friend, and she used to live in Japan when she was younger too. So you want to see it? Do you want to see it tonight, or do you want me to do you want me to take a little pause, go grab my bags and unbox stuff for you? Do you think that would be entertaining? Should I do that? Who else is watching? Press one if you want to see some of the stuff I bought. We can go through my treasure together, my haul, because I haven't really. I don't think the only thing I took out was like the shirt that I bought because I wanted to try it to wear it yesterday. But oh, Irish Pub's here. He wants to see my. Okay, all right. I guess we're doing an unboxing. Oh hey, before I forget too, Facebook reminded me it's the 3-year anniversary of finding my Donald Trump troll doll. So we've been together 3 years, me and my little Donald Trump troll. Isn't that nice? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think I will. I'll show you guys some of the stuff because it's really cool stuff I got. Okay. BRB. Me, silly little me. Okay, y'all. Thanks for bearing with me there while I grabbed my stuff. Okay, so we'll start with a mild, well, I guess it is an unboxing. Share my lovely consumerism with you all. Take a sip of my sip first. So let's see all the goodies I got. Nordstrom bag. Okay, so, oof. You know what? And I took some of this stuff out of the package because I wore it. So yeah, I got the Charlotte Tilbury lip plumper. Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumpgasm. It's not, I mean, oh, you don't care. You don't care. It's nice. I'm not wearing it right now, but it is a really lovely color. It looks good on my skin. They had like two tones, one for darker skin, one for lighter skin. So I got the lighter skin one. It looks nice. You could put it over lipstick or not, but most likely we'll just be wearing it as a gloss plumper. And then, yeah, I suppose I'll just leave them in here. So this was it was like a mini version, I guess, of the Too Faced mascara. They had like this little tower of different things. So I noticed it. It was a good price, so I grabbed it. It's not a full mascara though. It's nice. Does it have venom? Maybe. It's not the strongest lip plumper I've had. I remember back in the day when I used to, get lip plumper, I really loved the one that Victoria's Secret had. But that was when I was like in my early 20s. So who knows? I don't even know where there's a Victoria's Secret now anyway. Okay, and yeah, I've got some other stuff. So then we went to Sephora, and I only ended up getting like one eyeliner, a white eyeliner pencil, because they had this eyeshadow. They had a couple of eyeshadow palettes I wanted, but they were out of both of them. So, and I didn't find anything else. So yeah, I ended up just getting this white eyeliner, which I haven't opened yet. But yeah, at Nordstrom's, they ended up giving us a bunch of samples. My friend made some big purchases, and she didn't want all of them. So mainly they were for her, but she gave me some. And you know what? I got some samples there too. I took little jars and got some samples. So I took a sample of the Tom Ford. They have like a sandalwood perfume, or he has a sandalwood perfume. I took that, and then I took a little sample jar of this lip oil I tried. I can't remember the brand, but it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I honestly I should have just bought some, but I'll probably go back next week and get some of it because it was stunning on my lips, and maybe try like another, or take a sample of like another color, because there were a few colors of it I wanted. And I have naturally darker lips anyway, so like when it comes to things like that, I have to go for more darker or more vibrant, because the pinks just kind of look weird a lot of the time. So, okay, so yeah, the sample. So I have a sample of Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. I don't know. It says it's rose, peony, bergamot. Sounds like something I would like. I like floral perfumes, especially when I'm like at home by myself. It's kind of what I like, light florals. I got a sample of the Tom Ford Lost Cherry as well. So that's cool. Well, I don't know. I was smelling that in the store. I don't know. I'll try it on, see how I feel about it. It's like hit or miss with Tom Ford. And then a little box set. This was cool, of the J'adore by Dior. And there's 3 in here. It's like they have perfume water. I don't know what lore means. Lore. Lor or L''or. Is that just like an eau de toilette, I wonder? And then there's the eau de parfum. So there's 3 little sample bottles of it. I've never really gotten into this perfume. I don't really even know its notes. It's an odd one. It smells a little spicy though. I kind of like spicy perfumes, like spicy, woody as well. I'm big into scents. Okay, and then in here I also have the 2 perfumes I got from that Goodwill boutique. So what was this one? This was the Beautiful Love by Estee Lauder. Yeah, I like that one. It's a nice old lady perfume. And then this one was the Daisy by Marc Jacobs Rollerball. And I've been wearing this one the past 2 days. I'm like really, really into it. Really into it. Oh man, even smelling it now, it's like, have I ever had a mood ring? Of course I've had mood rings. So yeah, that's some of my makeup and perfumes and stuff that I got. Looking forward to all that. I'll put that all back in here though, just to keep it safe until it gets fully put away. Yeah, this sandalwood one though. Oh man, yeah, that Tom Ford sandalwood perfume. Their perfumes are expensive. I don't want to say expensive, but they're a bit dear. They're not really, I'm going to have to be a very good girl to justify making that purchase. You know what I mean? Because their perfumes are like hundreds of dollars. Okay, let's move on to the next bag here I've got. Oh, so yeah, I was mentioning that Japanese store. We went to a couple, but one of them I'd never been in, and they had a lot of like snacks and yeah, I do get kind of a bit of a buzz off of the smell of perfume. I mean, who doesn't? They're intoxicating. Okay, shout out to the chat. Stacy's here, Gregatron, Modern Gentleman, Galahad, Z is here. I know I saw Irish Repub earlier too. If I've missed anyone, my bad. But hey guys, thanks for being here. So I got this one like peach jelly juice drink that you kind of like suck. It has one of those screw tops. I know they make them for kids with like apple juices and things, or not apple juice, but like, I don't know, often in the US, it's a similar kind of style that you can buy apple sauce with. Oh, Zenny, I'm sorry. Shout out to Zenny. Zenny was missed, but we're glad he's here. Yeah, so that was good. It was like peach and it had little pieces of jelly in it. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. Oh, you. So yeah, that got drank. But I also picked up this candy. It's like pickled plum sheets. So I'll probably try these sometime this week. Haven't been feeling it yet, but when I want something sweet, and I think they're a little bit chewy. They look good. I love plum. So yeah, it looks like a nice treat. And shout out to the lady at that store. Like, she was so nice. The lady who ran the place. She came over and greeted me personally. And I don't know. She I don't know. I couldn't really get up to because of being in my device, I couldn't really get to the checkout area. So she kind of came over to me and like checked me out personally, and she was just so gracious and sweet, and like, yeah, it's nice when shopkeepers take all that extra care, with me. It makes me feel nice and baby. Are you mad when it's not about you? Are you mad when it's not about you? What you doing? What you thinking? What's in that little brain of yours? What you thinking? I'm so good, kid. I'm so good, kid. talk about Camilla. Camilla Thrilla. Oh my God, look at him. He's so cute. He's so cute right now. So yeah, plum candy. That was a purchase I made. Okay, here's the hat. Next thing in this bag. Okay, so I mentioned the mink fur beret, and it still has some paper in it. So, hey, no, you jealous? You jealous? I can't show it off because you in the way. You in the way. I can't show my hat because you in the way. Why are you doing that? Why you being in the way? That's not right. That's not fair. You going after my hat because it has no, why? You don't care for me? You don't want me to show off what I got? You have strawberry mochi? I don't like mochi much. I don't like mochi. I don't know, especially when it's wrapped around ice cream. So gross. Okay, time to get down. Time to get down. Yeah, you messing up Mama's show and tell. Thank you, baby. That was my cool cat. Evening to Seesaw. Okay, yeah, this is the mink beret that I came across. I love it. I've wanted a fur beret in forever. No, Zenny, Zenny, I'm not even like, why are you arguing with me about it? Like as if I haven't tried a myriad of types of Japanese mochi. Like if I like high shoes, I'm gonna like mochi. No. The flavor is different. I don't like it. I don't like the texture of it. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, well, I don't like it, period. Anyway. So yeah, my beautiful mink fur vintage beret, which was discovered this weekend in a vintage shop I had never been in. Apparently they opened a few months ago, and this place had so many cool things, like real vintage, like items from the 60s. They had this beautiful blue 60s velvet dress. And they're amazing jewelry. There were a couple of people there who were part of a fashion show that were a little annoying, but and apparently the woman who was the seller of this, she wasn't working that day, but her name is also Terri. So Terri hooked, is the one who I ended up like Venmoing her business account. Oh God, yeah, my neck hurts too much to even like mess with trying to put something on like that. Oh, God. Y'all, don't want to put it over the clip either, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to rocking this hat. And it's soft, it's mink. I'm been working on getting my furs in order. In the past year, I've gotten, I think it was just using my phone today, because I went and had a massage yesterday and my neck was doing so well. And now it's like, yeah, and I hadn't been like on my phone that much because my friend was with me. So I think like getting kind of sucked into the punchy TV chat, and kind of looking down like that today kind of threw it out of whack again. So it was a good massage. My massage my massage therapist was very good. He was very strong, and he was also like very attentive. Okay, so my friend and I split up on Sunday because she wanted to go get some makeup that she didn't get before, and that she would, yeah. So she ended up buying me a present from Sephora because she, knew how upset I was about the palettes that they didn't have that I wanted. So yeah, she got me this Danessa Myricks Beauty Moonlight and Infinite Chrome Flakes. So they're these like, I wanted these blue eyeshadows. Like there were a couple of palettes that had these like really intense, beautiful blues, but they were both sold out. And I love blue eyeshadow. I don't wear it a lot, but it's very classic and I love to, use it sometimes. But yeah, this is really cool. So you can do like a thin liner with it, or you can like use it as a topper or just have it on its own, and you can like have it thick or you can have it like very light. So yeah, very nice little gift from my friend. Shout out to Doll Snatch. She and I have been discussing doing a stream together possibly next week. We're going to do a nostalgia stream. So we're going to like look up our old YouTube peoples and, check in with them and like rewatch classics from like 15 years ago on YouTube. We were doing that a little bit, and we actually, man, we uncovered some interesting facts. We found out some people that, used to hate, like there were these two people that really hated me and like went after me hardcore back in the day that found out they're both dead now. Like one guy, he uploaded a video threatening me, saying he had my docs and he was going to release them to every sexual predator on the West Coast, and I don't even think he had my docs. I think he had another woman that has my same name docs. And there was a woman that was part of their like little clique who like tried to buddy up to me, and she found out where I worked because, she was just chatting with me and she lived in the same town. So like, I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't even realize at the time that these people, like just with the digging we've done since then, and people talking about the death of these people, like, no, shush. I didn't realize that they were all like unemployed losers at the time because I was like in my early 20s, and I didn't realize that there were that many adults that, just spent all their time, on the internet, like going after people, like, because these people are like way older than me too. Like I was in my early 20s at the time, and like one of the women that died, her username was Exiled. She was like in her 50s, and then the other guy, Dixie Comic, he was also like in his like 40s or 50s, and I was like in my early 20s, and these people were like coming for me hard, like. And then a lot of them had like, he had kids, it's so funny, like these people. But yeah, we were looking through some of the stuff that the old drama, and like a lot of these people were like, oh yeah, let's get a van and go harass Terri or go confront Terri at her workplace at the time. And they were like, oh, I don't know if I can afford a trip right now. I'll have to wait till I get my disability check. And they were like, oh, we can split, 4-way. I have a van. We can split gas 4 ways. We can make it happen. I was like, man, these losers. like reading through it now and like seeing the videos now with the evidence, I was like, these people were gonna split gas money for a van to like these unemployed people living on disability were gonna come, spend the government money that I, as a working person, paid for as well. That's kind of astounding to me. Like I was paying taxes at the time and they like were living off of that government money that, comes from working people's taxes. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna do a stream together and like kind of look up some of our old people and kind of laugh at That's why you don't tell people what state you live in. I mean, I was doxxed so long ago that it's like, I've been a public figure for so long. I can't really go back. I mean, I could, I guess I could not talk about it now, but it's like the cat's out of the bag. And honestly, I don't have anything to hide. I don't have any fear and I don't have anything to hide. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just living my life. Okay, so why are you laughing about me being a public figure? I've spoken at conferences, like I've traveled internationally to do political work. I'm not like the biggest public figure, but people know who I am and they have for a long time. So yeah, I'm humble, but I'm also like not nobody. I'm not nobody. I'm not nobody. God. Yeah, the good in you attracts the evil in others, but the good also defeats evil. In the end, we win, Bregatron. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue with my purchases. Yeah, I went to H&M, you guys. I never go to H&M, which I should probably do more. Okay. Oh yeah, and I went to church last night, so we got my table talk for Bible study. And this was so funny. One of the questions, I was really hoping the pastor wouldn't say it because sometimes he uses this in his sermon on Sunday nights. He does kind of more of a discussion with the group. But yeah, one of these questions, read Exodus 2, 7 through 8. Thus far, what 6 women have been instrumental in saving Moses' life? What does this say about the important role of women in a patriarchal ancient society, but also in the church today, as if the patriarchy has gone anywhere? And why the hell? I was like, oh, please, man, please do not say patriarchy. And I'm kind of wondering, is he gonna say that? Is he gonna say patriarchal society? Is he gonna say that at the Bible study this week? I don't know, but hopefully I'll have the steam to join it this week, because last week I was so beat Wednesday. I just went to bed early. I had a shower at 6 and then went to bed afterwards. I wasn't playing around with trying to stay up for Bible study. Okay. Oh, you know what? And my church, one of my church simps, he brought me some gum. Isn't that nice? Shout out to Neil. He's a nice old man. He's a hot mess, but I love him. And he loves me enough to supply me with gum every now and then. So thank you. That's in here. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's my sunglasses. These are not a new purchase, but these are the sunglasses I wore on Sunday when I went out. You like them? I'm really fond of these sunglasses. They're funny because when I wear them, sometimes people think they'll think that I have some sort of issue with my eyes, but they're just sunglass goggles type. But I love them because they block out the sun on the sides. So when the sun's very bright, if you have regular sunglasses, you still have sun peeking through the sides, but these really, they're so much better. So yeah, I really love these, and they look cool. They look really cool. Keep them on the whole stream. That was the other thing, man. We were looking at one of these, are we looking at these videos with a bunch of these and these people that were trolling me were also members of the YouTube atheist community. So, quality people. But a lot of them were recording videos in the dark on their old webcams with their sunglasses on. It was so funny. We were like, oh my God. And they're all like, we are free thinkers. I am a free thinker. Da, 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 da. Shout out to Kale Samogi. Yeah, Neil is a sweetheart. He's got an interesting testimony though, man, and he doesn't hold back his testimony. He tells you the whole thing. Brett Keane, you know about Brett Keane? I've never really had any negative run-ins with him. I've like interacted with him a couple times, and he never started anything with me. But man, yeah, Brett Keane was involved in, or he was in the center of a lot of dramas. Okay, so, oh, I forgot about this. We went into the Maiden Organ store, and this candle was 40% off. It's a locally made candle, lavender and chamomile scented. And it has, oh God, that smells so good. It smells like soap almost. And yeah, this has a wooden wick. But yeah, it was originally like $18, but reduced to $10. Oh God, I'm being asked if I'm Jewish. Are you kidding? C-Cell's like, don't start. Hey, shout out to Latina and Cali. You think I look hot in the sunglasses? Oh God, you guys, I'm not Jewish. Okay, oh yeah, so I think we're getting now into the H&M purchases. So, all right, this thing, I couldn't help myself, y'all. It was you can't really even see it that well. Look at the light. It's like a rose. It's like a black velvet rose. And on the back here, you can secure it to your clothes with this safety pin, or it has a hair clip. So I could either put it in my hair to decorate myself, or I could, pin it to my outfit. So I'm looking forward to that cool accessory I purchased. They have lint rollers. So I just picked up one because whenever I randomly come across a lint roller, I don't think there's that many sheets in it. How many are in here? I don't know. Does it say? Made in Mexico. It doesn't say. Well, you can never, I have a cat. You're always going to need lint rollers. And then I got these tights. They're extra thick. Like, what are they made out of? I didn't even read, but I don't know. They're like warm. They're made from mostly acrylic, though. I mean, what can you do? It is H&M. But yeah, they're soft, warm, and nice earth tones. So I'm looking forward to these as well. Got them in a size bigger than normal, just because, yeah, I don't like my tights to be too tight, especially like these kind of tights. I like them to be kind of comfy. So looking forward to those. What else is in here? Oh, I got this. This like cropped black tee, I'm not even showing it off well. It's like a little tank top, but I thought I could wear it either under or over things. I liked it. They have, and this was another one I had to get in a larger size because the only large one they had was like, I found it, I was like, oh, perfect. But then I looked at it closer and somebody had tried it on and there were like deodorant marks on it. So I was like, oh, hey, shout out to Christ Conquers who's in the chat. Good to see you. You have a question, Gregatron? You forgot me that Dang, a song about Terry making you drool. What? I've never been on. Oh God, my neck. I've never been on Temu. I've never been on Temu before. That's not one I've checked out yet. I don't really need to go on there, honestly. I have enough. I have enough places that siphon my money as a consumer. So I really don't want to get sucked into another rabbit hole of like impulse purchases, you know. These purchases that I'm looking at right now, like the tights, the tank top, the little velvet rose. These all came from H&M. So we weren't even planning to go in H&M that morning. We just ended up having to like go shopping and kill some time until the karaoke place opened. So we went to Zara. We didn't find anything there. I mean, I found one vest that I was like enamored of, but they didn't have it in like a large size. So all they had it in was like, yeah, mediums and smalls. And it was like, not that skinny yet. So, never Temu, dang Chinese sweatshop on steroids. I mean, I don't think it's any different than H&M really when it comes down to it, but it's nice to go into a place and just shop, you know, to go into a store that's set up and shop, you know. I don't know if I shouted out Z, but shout out to Z too. He's in the chat. And shout out to Chris. So yeah, this is all this stuff right now is from H&M. The candle was from the Made in Oregon store. Made in Oregon. If you buy from Temu, then China has your browser history. Thankfully, I only go to the same 3 websites. Okay, so you know what? I did some good shopping there too. Oh wait, this is the Made in Oregon one. Like they were having a sale. Like if you spent so much money, you got 15% off. So yeah, we went to a mall. So the karaoke place, there's this like Punch Bowl Social in the Pioneer Place Mall in Portland. And Punch Bowl Social is like in a bunch of different cities, but we have one here. And they have video karaoke booth rooms that you can, you know, rent out for a period of time. So we wanted to do that. And then they also have like bowling. And I didn't even know this, but they had like an arcade. So I might go back there just to do the arcade. Hey, Harmony, shout out. You're missing some of the unboxing, but or you've missed a great deal of the unboxing, but there's still more. I love Dollar Tree too, but there's none near me. And the one that was closest is getting shut down. And the last time I went in there, like it sucked. Just like as I was entering the Dollar Tree, this homeless woman like was running out with her arms full of goods. Like as I'm rolling up to the entrance. And a security guard grabs her and she just like struggles out of his arms, drops a bunch of stuff. And then she's like, haha, I still got a bunch of stuff anyway. And I'm just like stunned at this interaction. And I go through all of the aisles and they're so sparse. They didn't have any of the good stuff. Yes, she was white, price conquers. It was a white woman. It was a white woman. Terry would do good with some Amish goods and some apple butter. I don't like apple butter. I'm not really fond of apples, honestly. That is true, Stacy. Everyone's white. Actually, not everyone in Portland is white. You know what? We're going to watch some of the Hassan Hates Portland videos. You know what? We're going to pull up that Instagram and watch some clips from that because it looks hilarious. It's a new sketch comedy that's based in Portland. You want to live here? I mean, it's the whitest city in the country, but it's still not like, we still have people of color here, but honestly, the majority of the criminals are white. Like the majority of the bums you see are white. Like the majority of people like that are stealing from the stores are white. So, um, I do know how to knit Latina or Latina and Cali, but I can't really. I used to crochet. My knitting is like very moderate. Like I'm not very skilled at moderate. And then I got into crochet, but my hands can't really do it anymore. Like I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I have like some degeneration in my hands and wrists, and I can't really crochet anymore. But I do have like a sweater I crocheted, and I used to make like hats all the time and other like accessories like that. I love doing it, but it was one of my favorite pastimes, especially in the winter months, because I would just put on something, like one of my favorite series and like just spend hours crocheting. So yeah, I'm not really able to do that anymore. Alas, let's continue with my haul. Okay, so this dress was awesome. I found it on the clearance rack. And it was $10. 10 doll hairs, y'all. There's more in that bag, not much more, but I'm excited about this dress. It's a light dress, so it was a summer shirt dress, very kind of very simple, basic kind of dress. It has a little tie at the neck, just something you throw on, but I love it because I'm going to be able to layer it. So it's about mid-length. It'll be good, especially like with a pair of tights and then like a black sweater vest over it for fall. And yeah, it was $10. Like I was like, okay. And they had it in my size. I didn't have to buy an extra large. I got to get a large. So that was nice. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to wearing that dress. Hey, hello, Calvin's Freddie, aka Steven. Welcome to the chat. Oh, what's the point of getting organic apples from other countries? Man, Oregon and Washington have apples. Wait, Zenny got fired? If I were a dress, I'd be on a clearance rack. Oh, Chris, don't say that. Okay, let's see. Last two items, and then we can move on for the night from my unboxing. So, oof, these got turned around. Okay, these earrings. There's just a couple costume jewelry, little bow earrings. I found them very cute. So these were the first item I actually picked up in the store. I was like, okay. And then I started finding more and more stuff. I think they'll be fun to wear. And then this item. So yeah, the cashier was like, oh, if you spend $2 more, you can get like 15% off. And I was like, I'd been looking at this glitter, body glitter. So I guess it's like a roll-on body glitter. So I grabbed that. I was like, okay, I know what I'll get. Because yeah, they have all kinds of cool accessories at H&M. I forgot about that. Like it's been probably a couple of years since I went in there. So yeah, that was my little haul there for the weekend, you guys. I went shopping, huh? Have I tried what kind of grapes? I think so. I like cotton candy grapes too. They're very sweet. I don't think they have much nutritional value though. Is it stripper glitter? Well, you would know better than me, Yoda, about strippers because I don't know. I do have a coworker that wears that though. She always like has glitter all over herself, and she's like always in pink. She loves pink and leopard print and sparkles. If it's pink or leopard print and sparkles, she's on it, you know? She's amazing. Where do clear heels at? I don't know. Is that another stripper thing? I've only been in I accidentally walked into a strip club unbeknownst to me once. That was the only time I've ever been in one because it shared a restroom with the Mexican restaurant I was eating at. So it was like this little divey taqueria, and it was next to the old location for Mary Strip Club, which is one of the oldest strip clubs in the city. They've moved locations since then. So I was vaguely aware that they were next door, but yeah, they were like, I asked to use the bathroom and they're like, oh yeah, it's through this hallway. And so I go into that, I open the door, and as soon as I open the door, I see a woman without like any clothes on, like on a stage. And I was like, for a moment, like a little disoriented by it. Cause I was like, when you just open a door and see a naked woman, like it's a little surreal. And that was my only time. Yeah. So I just, I quickly kind of realized I, wasn't there to look at her, and I should just, continue on to the bathroom. Man, yeah, I like came back out and I was like, I was with a couple of friends and I was just like, yeah, I guess they share the bathroom at the strip club, because I walked in there and why would I see an Yoda, why would I see that? Why would I see that? Why would that? It was an interesting experience for me. Is it muscadine grapes from the woods? Never, ever, ever, ever date a stripper. Yeah, I don't think I did have one that was a roommate briefly. I lived in a collective house, and she was like a third wave feminist. She had some notoriety for herself, which was interesting because I had, a name for myself in the radical feminist world. But I kind of kept that to myself because it was just a temporary housing situation. And she was an interesting lady, I have to say. She was covered in tattoos, and she had these like really intense nails, like really intense nails. And she worked pretty regularly. She worked like at least 4 days a week. And she would usually come home like at the time I was leaving for work. So I left for work really early, and she, came home, really like late. So she'd usually be in a taxi coming home, and like we'd, wave. Anyway, Nero was living in that house too. And apparently he ticked her off once. She was taking a shower, and we had this there was a window in the bathroom it was like a really old house. So there was a window in the bathroom near the tub, and shower, and the tub, it was like one of those old school tubs, so you couldn't put anything on the side. It was like a clawfoot big metal tub. And so people would just put their, toiletries in the window, to so like you would put your shampoo there to set it while you were going to wash your hair or whatever. So anyway, apparently Nero was out in the yard, and he like spotted her in the bathroom, and he like jumped in the window, and apparently he did it in such a way as to knock her shampoo and conditioner into the yard while she was in the shower. And I didn't know about this until like way later, but like I came home that day and she was sitting outside smoking, and she was talking to me about that cat, and she was like telling me that she respected him because he was a real thug. And I was like, okay. And I didn't realize, like later on, I was told this story about how he, do you mind if I post the muscadine grape video? Go ahead and, yeah, you can share a video if you want about the grapes, the jam. So yeah, my kitty apparently is cool with her. He's a cool cat. I mean, but he was so rambunctious when he was little, and when we lived in that place, he was always getting in trouble. And he would leap from my window. I was on the top floor. He would leap from my bedroom window onto the neighbor's roof. Gosh. Man, this is kind of weird tasting. It's a peach iced tea. And it's like one of those probiotic or prebiotic iced teas, I've been into the probiotic sodas lately, or prebiotic sodas. So this was on sale at Whole Foods, so I picked one up. But yeah, I'm not really liking the flavor. I like tea. Like I like to make a tea, like have a hot tea or tea-based drinks. But this ain't it. I also like iced teas too, or like boba teas. But yeah, this ain't it. Well, yeah. But yeah, this is the real highlight purchase, the mink fur beret that I picked up. Yes, Olipop. You know about the Olipop. I love Olipop. So good. Okay. I'll put it in here. I bet it would look good with that dress too if I did the layering that I talked about. New Coke. I just don't like, it's just too sweet. There's too much sugar in that stuff. I can't drink it. Like, you think I have a big head? New guy thinks I have a big head. It's not that big. It's proportional. A barbarian might clunk you on the head wearing that. Do you think so? I wear fur all the time. I don't give an F. What's somebody gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it does look huge. I mean, yeah, that was the other thing about like finding a beret. I had to find one that fits. So I don't, I was looking online for a while to find it. It's a vintage piece of fur. I picked it up in a vintage shop. Like, that animal was killed probably like in the 50s or 60s. And what are we going to do? Just let this beautiful like animal pelt not see the light of day because, and F that. I mean, I'm pro fur. I don't care. I'm pro fur. I've been out singing. Indeed, Tomas. Did you like my singing, Tomas? Did you pretend that you were Heathcliff and I was your Kathy? I do. I have very thick hair, and yeah. Why are you anti-fur, Stacey? I love fur. I'm gonna wear it. I wore my rabbit fur coat today when I went out. And psh, indeed, pro fur, the new Republican stance. I don't even, it's not about that at all. You have silver fox. Oh God, I would love a fox coat. Oh my God. Especially a silver one. Oh man, I would feel like, ooh. Yeah, I mean, they can be cruel, like with the farms and stuff, but like if, especially with like a vintage coat or like something, I'm not gonna, I love finding that. Like, both of the fur coats I have are vintage. They were, um, but I don't know, like, I don't like being cold. Fur is warm. That's right, Cecil. Nothing wrong with big hair and a big head. Yeah, it's warm, it's functional, it's everything you want. I'm pro fur. Okay, so yeah, I saved a few videos. They're kind of weird. Let's watch them and just kind of hang out and make fun of them, I suppose. Fun. This is some guy talking about, his channel name is Polite Leader, and he's responding to a female preacher, I guess, talking about having abortions. I've seen this too. I don't know if this is the same woman, but it blew my mind. Like, she was on the pulpit preaching and she was like, no, I think it was a different woman, actually. Like, these female preachers need to be stopped. They're crazy. Is Rome here? And I missed it. Rome. Smus Martian. Well, yeah, whatever. Look, it's weird. Like, call her daddy. I only heard about Call Her Daddy this week or last week because she was on, or Kamala Harris was on that show. And like, I never heard of it before. And then out of nowhere, like, I'm seeing other things about it. And like, I think I saw like a piece of clothing that had something on it, like out in the wild. I'm like, what is this thing? I never heard of this podcast before. So yeah, shout out to Rome 13 in the chat. Matthew's also here. I didn't shout out M. I did say hi, but shout out again to M. Gregatron, did you have a question for me? I remember you saying you had a question. Did I answer your question? I can't remember. But yeah, these female pastors, did they perform this corrosion? Yes, they did. They performed this corrosion. They did not perform Marianne, unfortunately. Chris, I did shout you out, but hey, shout out to Chris. Beautiful Chris in the chat. The question was, am I Jewish? No, I'm not Jewish. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I mean, I'm Jewish in the sense that I have a high verbal intelligence and I'm somewhat competent. So like, I guess, and I'm chosen by God, I'm one of his chosen people. So in that sense, yeah. But I'm not like ethnically or culturally Jewish in any sense. That's not my background. And the Irish also have very high verbal intelligence. So Kate is here. Lovely to see you, Kate. Hey, did you and your siblings play video games growing up? If so, what? I didn't have any siblings growing up. So my brothers, I didn't meet them until I was in my early 30s. I had no interaction with them until then. So I played video games. I had a Super Nintendo. In fact, I still have it. It's in my closet. And I played, my favorite games were Yoshi's Island. I still have that game too. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World. I also had Super Mario All Stars. Loved that game. I was also big on Kirby's Avalanche. Kirby's Avalanche. Me and my dad would play that like hella together. Like he would come home from work and he'd be like, "Let's play some Avalanche." So I would play against my dad sometimes. No, I never played Adventures of Lolo. I also had Mortal Kombat 3. So I played that growing up. So I didn't really ever, I didn't have any other consoles. When I got older, I did, my ex, who I've talked about on this channel a bit, was a gamer, and I played Fable 2. It was like an Xbox. So I played Fable 2 and Fable 3, and Fable 3 sucked. Fable 2 was it. So I played that, and then also I played Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls, which was like, man, I got sucked into that. Like I come home from work for like months and just played that game. Fable, I never played Fable 1. I would like to play Fable 1 just because I loved Fable so much. I remember I beat Fable 2 and I would still just like turn it on and like run around. Never played Morrowind. The X that hermed. Yes, yes, Calvin, yes. I don't have many X's, okay? Like not many not many people. So if I say my ex, I'm probably talking about that one. So she did, Yoda, she hermed out, not he. So let's move on. Kale Samogi, that's so inappropriate. Like, you're on my channel. Like, why would you even say something so disrespectful? Like, that's not even true. Ugh. Maybe it was a PlayStation. Actually, yeah, it wasn't an X. Well, was it? I don't know. I'm not really good with knowing. It was either an Xbox or a PlayStation. Right. Yeah. Pong and video games are a plot to separate people from their pot money. I agree, Kate. I don't know, like gray or something. I don't remember. I don't really remember. I think it was a PlayStation now that I think about it. Galahad, so what did he say? He was saying that just casting dispersions about, my history, which, were incorrect. But also it's not something you should even like. Anyway. I was gonna pull this up and judge this other woman, y'all. Why are you trying to come at me? It might have been a PS1. I think so, Chris. Well, new guy, I'm an adult woman. I don't need to be playing video games all day. Do I? This is how I have fun. I come on here and I'm abused. So yeah, I played on my Super Nintendo when I was a kid. That was my thing. Great question. Did somebody time him out? Who timed him out? Did somebody time him out? Sorry, Cal. You didn't have to be timed out, but I didn't like that. Okay, do y'all think I should get on Twitch? My friend has been saying I should get on Twitch. She said I would get a good audience there, and then I would find a lot of quote unquote pay pigs, as she described them. She says there's lots of simps and pay pigs on Twitch. Do you all know? So, was it Tomas? Tomas defended me, my sweet Tomas, my little fox, who I would never turn into a coat ever. Lots of commie simps on Twitch. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I mean, if I get well, maybe I could stream, all the time. I could just live on the internet and just do that, and play games and watch videos and wear cat ears. I could get some of those cat ear headphone things. What do you all think? Is it rated R, XXX now? Well, just because indeed, I have bills. So, if you want to support the channel, there's my Cash App. You can also go under the video, and there are links to my Ko-fi where you can purchase coffees for me. They're not actual coffees, but, digital coffees. Or you could become a channel member. All kinds of ways to support Terri. Okay. Seesaw getting all defensive of the men. But women get angry when they're called whores. Don't be getting no cat ears. It means you're furry. Yeah, that lip plumper was like $36, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Being a woman is expensive, especially being a feminine woman. Not to mention that fur hat. That wasn't cheap either. And I've had to pay for that out of the money I earned doing a job. Really, really. Seesaw, calm down. My friend didn't invent the term. She was just saying it to be funny. Come on. I think it would be good, though, to go on different platforms and not just YouTube. Because right now I just stream on YouTube. Don't be getting that glitter all over your man. I don't have one, Matthew. No problem. The only man it's going to get on is my little cat. All right, so let's hear about this female pastor who's, bragging about her abortions.
If you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. I'm Alan. Today, I'm going to be responding to a progressive, so let's delve in.
Despite many people's profound discomfort with images, messaging, and moralizing about are ubiquitous in our culture.
Whoa.
If you are informed on this.
Okay, so I don't know what those things are called. There's, what's his official title in our church? I can't remember. I think he's a bishop, so he sometimes will wear those kind of, what is that called? He's not he's above our pastor. He's like a regional bishop or something. I'm not sure exactly what his position is. I'd have to ask him again. So yeah, he sometimes wears those, or there'll be certain events, or things where they'll wear those particular vestments. Thank you. Hers has the Planned Parenthood logo on it. Like, I'm just, what? And she has one of those silly little collars. Like, I'm assuming this is an Episcopalian priest. I don't know. Like, this is, it's so insane to me. Like, how did the church get this insane so quickly? Like, it seemed when I was growing up, this would never have been like, ain't no way. Like, even if, they might have had a female pastor, but like, ain't no way this would have been going on. But I think it's a slippery slope. This is insane. Look at that. how does it, like, how the hell? Oh, what the heck? I don't know. Why is it doing this? It just went to us. I'm ticked.
Issue. And you've listened to Christian abolitionists and others interact with pro-choicers, then you can immediately spot the language being used here in order to try and downplay the horrors of prenatal infanticide. As I've mentioned before on this channel, the pro-choice position has two important characteristics about it that you should be familiar with. One is the degradation of motherhood, and two is the degradation of the human being. Here you see the latter of those two in action. A fetus is a small child or the offspring of a creature. That is the term's Latin root. Life begins at the moment of conception. This is a scientific fact. It doesn't matter what word pro-choicers want to use to denigrate the child in the womb, fetus, clump of cells, parasite, whatever. We're talking about a human being that is living and growing inside the belly of the mother. And of course, being the modern national socialist
I don't want to hear his
she
commentary.
is,
I want
she
to
has
hear
to
what
don the
this woman
garb of her
has to
monstrous
say.
regime.
Like, he's giving all this
Aggressive
commentary.
bumper stickers and saccharine billboards quoting scripture and invoking God's wrath pave our streets and plaster our highways. Politicians stump on the issue, and state legislatures spent the last 50 years working to control, regulate, and ultimately overturn Roe v. Wade. Their success was our failure.
It does not surprise me in the slightest that a child of Lucifer would identify moderate success at the state level in overturning the unjust homicide of children as a failure. We have a long way to go in our fight to end this barbaric practice. It is true that the horrific images of innocent slain babies in the womb make people uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but it
I
is
don't want
also
that on the
true that the
billboard, to be
scriptures teach
honest.
that men have hearts of stone. And for many whose consciences have been seared, these images will have little to no effect.
In the imaginary, all people of faith are against. This imaginary has colonized our minds, traumatizing many people with its toxic theology and shaping a culture of stigma and shame that has silenced millions of women and people who have had, erasing their voices, their stories, and their witness from the public sphere.
I have no idea what the imaginary is, but a person can have faith and be pro-choice. They just cannot have true saving faith. There are millions, perhaps billions, who put their trust and faith in idols like our fake pastor here. Women and people, only a woman can get pregnant. Certainly a male serial killer doctor can assist her in the heinous act of taking the innocent life of her child. The father of the child who drives the mom to the mill can likewise be an accomplice in this wicked act.
To this crap,
but men cannot conceive and bear children, if that's what she meant.
As a child of God, I can certainly appreciate the lyrical beauty of this text, as well as the descriptions in Jeremiah and Job of their certain knowledge that God was with them in the womb. I too feel that I am known by God in these ways.
She is no child of God at all. In fact, she is the exact opposite. As I stated earlier, she is of her father, the devil. As our Lord informed us about this wicked being, he was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. It's not just the poetic sections of scripture that true believers turn to in order to demonstrate the sanctity of the life of the child in the womb. In Exodus 21, an assailant is to receive a capital sentence if he even shoves a woman, and that act results in the death of the baby in her womb.
As a woman who has borne 2 children, I can affirm that I felt something sacred happening in my gestating body during those pregnancies. I can also attest that I felt God's presence with me as I made the decision to end 2 pregnancies. And I felt no guilt, no shame, no sin.
I've heard this type of statement before from men like Lawrence Bittaker and Richard Ramirez and Gary Leon Ridgway and others. And now we hear the same from this lady here, and probably many other women like her. But obviously the degree of wickedness is amplified When a person claims something as monstrous and nefarious as taking the life of her own child is an example of God's presence within her. I tremble for this woman, I truly do. Let's be in prayer for the abolitionist movement. Let's pray that God will grant them courage as they battle to save the lives of innocent children in the
Okay,
womb.
this guy's commentary is a bit much. I just wanted to hear her commentary. All right, yeah, it's just him. I just wanted to hear what this woman had to say. That's crazy to me. Like, so crazy. Like, maybe I need to hear, I don't know, maybe I need to hear her whole sermon, but I don't even think women should be pastors. And this is part of why, because like a pastor is supposed to lead a flock. And I don't think women are equipped to do that. And yeah, I just feel like, a woman who would be maybe in the audience listening to that could be led astray by that, definitely, who might be facing a pregnancy that was unplanned. And the fact that she has kids and is probably married, it's amazing to me how many married people or how many married couples will choose to abort, the child that's growing in the mother's womb as well. It's like, it's just weird. I'm kind of like, I saw another one recently where a woman was a pastor in a church, and she was giving a sermon like that as well. It was a different woman, and she was saying that she, had an abortion, and basically, like, no context for why as well. That's the other thing about it. Like, just, I don't know. It's weird to me. It's really weird. Because usually when I've been in like community with Christian women who speak about having an abortion, they usually are talking about it in terms of like something that they regret, something that they know is wrong, something that maybe, they look back at and see that they were being led incorrectly in their life. They were listening to the wrong things. I'm just, I'm just kind of stunned. Like, and especially for a pastor, like, shouldn't you be encouraging women to bring forth like the new generation of children so that the church can continue? Like, even if you're like, even if like maybe you legalistically are not pro banning abortion, like, why wouldn't you promote life? Like, why would you go up there and be like, I had 2 abortions and it was no big deal? Like, 2? Why would you have more than 1? Like, you didn't learn your lesson the first time? I'm just like, a shout out to Lupin, who's joined the chat. That was weird. That was weird. This is getting too white. You're out of here. Yeah, that woman looks very indecent too, Tomas. She does. She does not look feminine in any regard. I mean, why is a woman... I don't think a decent Christian woman would get into that position in the first place, honestly. Like, There either no. Yeah, I know. You know what? I knew a woman who said she was proud of having an abortion once. We were having like a group discussion about it when I was younger, and yeah, she was like, "I'm proud I had an abortion." And I was like, "Okay, girl." She had no kids. She was like in her late 40s at that time, and she was proud she had an abortion. Never had any kids. Gregor says most women I know who had abortions have kids. That yeah, me too. Me too. But I don't know. I know women who've had them who don't have kids. So and even if you do have kids, like don't you still like I would think like you would look at your kids and like feel some kind of way about the fact that you had these other kids that you know, chose to terminate the lives of. I mean, I didn't want to get on this heavy topic, you know, etc. Like, I don't really like discussing it too much because it is emotional. But yeah, I was just like, you know, I think people are very blasé about it, and to see that these like female pastors are so wicked as to get up and promote abortion, I mean, that's astounding to me. Like that we have a real crisis in the world and in the church. I mean, the devil is busy, and we need to, you know, be aware of that, and you know, keep you know our eyes open, and you know, fight back with the truth. Exactly, Tomas. Exactly, Tomas. It's women shouldn't be in that position. Women are crazy. You know what I mean? Women are crazy. Stevie Nicks just wrote a song about it. Oh, interesting. So I think the next video in our queue, I saved a Doreen Virtue video. So let's get on that, huh? I'm excited. Where she meant. I don't know if they'll mention the abortion thing. I didn't know Stevie. I know she had an abortion. She talked about having been impregnated by what Don Henley and aborting his child. Yikes! Oh yeah, CB Nix is a witch. She's been very clear about that. What she did with this? Why? Okay, yeah, it is focusing on this. She needs to retire. I don't. Why should she retire? I don't think anyone should retire if they don't want to, even if they are evil.
Stevie Nicks debuted her new protest anthem song about abortion called Lighthouse on Saturday Night Live recently. And she's been giving a lot of interviews about the reason that she wrote this song, Lighthouse.
Can you clarify, do I believe what to be real, Tomas?
Which is a protest about Roe v. Wade being overturned. In the official Lighthouse music video, Stevie Nicks features herself inside of a lamp in a lighthouse. She's been quoted in interviews.
So Tomas clarified that he's talking about witches. I do think witches are real. Yes, I was a witch. They're real, and they're wicked women. And there are men who are witches as well, and they are wicked men. Witches are real, and they do the devil's work. And you should be very wary of anybody who's into any of that. Even if they're just mildly dabbling in the occult, they're witches. They're the devil's children. You know, that women are openly identifying like with this. I know, man, I knew women who got really into some weird stuff. You know, I always kind of I feel like God never let me jump too far in. Like, I feel like he held me back from things, but I knew women who like went all out, like openly worshiping the devil, like being very obscene, and like it's the destruction of them it's hard for me to see, you know, because these women were my friends. And I still, you know, I pray for them. I love them. I want them to like come to the light. But a lot of them are just, they're so convicted, you know. They think it's what they're into is so good. Do I think their power is comparable to the power of God? In no way do I think that. But they do wicked things, and they do evil things, and they do a lot of harm. Do you think Lindsey Buckingham was a hottie? I guess he kind of was. They won't listen to you when they say it's witchcraft. Harmony, they probably don't care that it's witchcraft. You know? No, Chris, I mean, some people use the term warlock, but a lot of men who are witches, they identify as witches. Yeah, I mean, I know you're free of that too, Kate. You were in the cult. I remember when I first met you. You were in all that stuff. And praise be to God, you've been delivered. Yeah, a lot of them are gay men. You know, not all of them, but a lot of them are gay or feminine men that get involved in witchcraft. I mean, I knew a number of them. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, it's trust me, witches are real. They do wicked things, you know, and they're committing abominations, and they're destroying themselves spiritually in the process, and all for a false sense of power. You know, that's what it was for me. I wanted to feel powerful. It was deranged. I wanted to feel powerful and special and unique when I already was. Do I think witchcraft is evidence of God? I mean, when I was a witch, I believed in God. I let myself be deceived though into thinking that, like, you know, I was just privy to some like extra information that the unwashed masses didn't have. But you know what? I am. It's, you know, it's called a relationship with God. A witch touched your hand. What do I do? You'll be fine. Terry, you were a beta. It's a miracle that I am learning. Huh. Yes, Kate, it is amazing, right? Doreen, I remember Doreen. People were freaking out about Doreen, and a lot of them were like, I just wish she wouldn't, you know, denounce witchcraft, you know, because, you know, no. And I'm like, well, what do you expect her to do? She's, you know, real like, of course she has to. Every former witch has to. Like, if you were involved in this stuff, you need to repent, and you need to make it clear to people that it's not something to be involved in. Like, man, she was scratching the palm of your hand with her finger. I don't know. She's probably just flirting with you. Take me to your dealer. If you're a Christian, don't worry about this stuff. Have faith in God. God's not going to let these little games that these devils, you know, little toys, you know, they can't touch you. Okay? They cannot touch you. if you're walking with God and you're doing what's right, they will fall. Things will blow up in their face. Okay. All the wickedness they put out will come back to them. Don't. But I mean, they can have an effect on people who do not have, a strong faith. They really can impact people. You give them power by like believing in them, but you have to just trust that, God has your back and that, they have nothing compared to the power of God. Of course, I celebrate Halloween. I'm not one of those. I'm pro Halloween. I'm pro having fun with holidays. And I'm pro, taking the pagan holidays and, having them. I mean, I'm pro taking those aspects of culture. I'm not one of those. Put on the full armor of God. Indeed. You don't have anything to worry about if you got the full armor of God on. Those witches can't get you. I mean, I like Halloween. I like dressing up. I like spooky things, and I like just the time of year, the feeling of it. I think it's fun, Well, anyway, let's continue. Yeah. Well, I did become a reader, Kate, and I repent. God, all those people I've read cards for.
Is saying that she's considering herself a lighthouse for women about pro-abortion. The video also features, as you can see on the screen, images of women holding up these protest signs and also having tape over their mouths with different words. So why does Stevie Nicks feel so strongly about pro-abortion? Well, one of the reasons might be because in 1979, she aborted a child that she was carrying with singer Don Henley of the Eagles. Here she is saying that the reason she chose an abortion was for her career, and that she even says that Fleetwood Mac would not have been around if she had chosen to have this baby.
I didn't feel that I could have a child. During that first 10 years, I felt it would have broke up the band. Mm-hmm. Because it wouldn't have been with anybody in the band. Mm-hmm. But in Fleetwood Mac, it would have just been a disaster. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't even imagine walking in with that news, It wouldn't have went down well. Mm-hmm. Also, I probably would have said, I'm going away for a year. So, and it would have broke up Fleetwood Mac. Mm-hmm. I think that, you're just in a much, much better position than I was, which is great. Because this is supposed to happen for you. Somehow it wasn't supposed to happen for me.
I find all of this heartbreaking, especially since I was someone who was very ambitious before I was saved. And I didn't have an abortion, but I did put my career above spending time with my children, and I deeply regret that now. I was a huge Stevie Nicks fan. I was traveling to her concerts all over and spending whatever I could to get really good seats to be close to the stage to see her. Also, because I had been a guitarist since I was a teenager,
Cute.
I was playing Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac songs in the bands that I was in, including Rhiannon, a song about a Welsh witch.
This is a song about an old Welsh witch.
When we would play Gold Dust Women at my workshops, people would invariably come up and ask me why I was singing a song promoting drug use. And I didn't know what they were talking about. Of course, it's famous now that Stevie Nicks tragically was addicted to drugs, both illegal and prescription drugs.
Well, I don't think that
I was heavily influenced by Stevie Nicks, who I first saw in concert when I was a teenager at an outdoor amphitheater in San Diego, California in the 1970s. And I was enthralled by not only her voice, but her countenance and these diaphanous, otherworldly chiffon outfits that she was wearing and dancing around in. And I started to dress like her. Throughout my New Age career, I was frequently wearing these, what we called goddess gowns, and these shawls. And a lot of people, especially when I had blonde hair for a while, people would compare me to Stevie Nicks. And I always took that as a big compliment. But now, looking back, I can see the influence that she's had on not only myself, but others, including Taylor Swift, who we'll talk about in a little bit. One of the influences that Stevie Nicks had on me was this whole trajectory into goddess and goddess worship, for which I apologize and have repented. And here on the screen, you can see that I actually made a so-called goddess card, an oracle divination card.
Yeah.
Divination is condemned practice, of course. And look at this. This is the Rhiannon card. And the name of the card is Sorceress, because I idolized Stevie Nicks and I thought that she was enchanting. There was something otherworldly and magical about her. She seemed like such a wise woman. So I thought sorcery was something to aspire to. Of course, I know now that the Bible clearly says that those who practice sorcery will be cast into the lake of fire for eternity, to hell, and will not go to heaven. And so I praise God for saving me out of that danger. And I pray that he would also warn and save others who may have been influenced by my promotion of sorcery that came from my idolation of Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks has often been called a white witch. In fact, people call her their favorite witch. Now, I just want to make it clear that there's no such thing as a good type of witchcraft, even though a lot of us got confused probably by the Wizard of Oz that made Glinda the Good Witch seem like someone to aspire to. All witchcraft in all forms is condemned in the Bible and will lead to hell for eternity. This is very dangerous, even though there's an allure when someone who's such an icon as Stevie Nicks and her good friend Taylor Swift, they make witchcraft look safe. They make it look something that you want. They make it look enticing and seductive. So we've got to be very, very careful of this. Stevie Nicks has been a friend and a mentor to Taylor Swift, who many still think of as that young, sweet country music star who called herself a Christian back then. She is now an adult who mimics witchcraft covens and is being accused of casting spells on her audience, which can happen, by the way. She's espousing witchcraft. She recently gave a shout out to Stevie Nicks at a concert in Dublin where Taylor Swift credited Stevie Nicks for her mentorship and said that she was dedicating her song Clara Bow to Stevie Nicks. You can see here on the screen.
She's a hero of mine and also someone that I could tell her any secret she'd never tell anybody. She's really helped me through so much over the years. I'm talking about Stevie Nicks.
And she is getting the song Clara Bow dedicated to her. Now, who is Clara Bow? She was an old-time Hollywood actress who would frequently dress up as a witch and who was known for her seductive, immoral sexual ethics.
What are you doing?
Listen to these lyrics from Taylor Swift's song Clara Bow that she dedicated to Stevie Nicks. You look like Stevie Nicks in 75. The hair and lips, crowd goes wild at her fingertips. Flesh and blood amongst war machines. You're the new God we're worshiping. You're the new God? No. There's only one true God. And Stevie Nicks saying that she's the lighthouse? No, Jesus is the lighthouse. He is the true light that's come into the world. Here's an image on the screen of the witch school welcoming Taylor Swift to their tribe. And as you can see on the screen, Taylor Swift has also been very outspoken pro-abortion. Taylor Swift also writes tweets about casting spells. You can see this on the screen right here. She also wrote, "Witches be like, sometimes I just want to listen to music while pining away, sulking, staring out a window. It's me. I'm witches. Never fear. The Willow Lonely Witch remix is here." And then she put a crystal ball emoji. So these women are popularizing witchcraft and making it look cool and trendy and like something that you could do to be as popular and successful and beautiful as these two women. So we've got to be very careful about the seductive nature of what they're teaching through their music. Here's an excerpt of my interview with Pastor Joe Schimmel of Good Fight Ministries, who himself was saved out of New Age deception, where he was a rock musician channeling demonic lyrics unbeknownst to him until Jesus saved him. And so ever since then, he's been exposing the dark side of rock and roll with his videos, including the free video that I'll link below called They Sold Their Soul for Rock and Roll. It's a must watch if you're in the rock and roll world like I was.
Yeah, Rihanna's a witch. You're exactly right. Welsh witch. Yeah, in fact, if people look at her albums, if they have her albums, I encourage you before you break them and get rid of them, because you ought to, I believe. But pray about it. You'll see she has crystal balls on almost all of Fleetwood Mac's albums. You know, yeah. I mean, everyone has just about has a crystal ball on it. She literally, dresses like a witch. Rihanna is just one of the songs where she, glorifies a witch. She also talked about when she was on stage. We have a section, our 10-hour version on Fleetwood Mac, but she talked about the members of the band that she said, I don't know what it is, but we're moved around on stage like we're pawns like on a chessboard. She talks about how we're like pawns that get moved around. She felt these forces, and you were into, and I think this is a really good learning experience for the people that are listening. Is you and I, when we open the door to the occult.
I'm kind of done with this video too, you guys. Okay, so this one was interesting. It came up, The Slow Decay of an Edgelord, the Amazing Atheist. So
ideologically, I'm way away.
So the Amazing Atheist years ago did a video response to me. Yeah, and I got inundated with like trolling. That was actually how the atheist community ever found me back in the day. So yeah, he's always been this kind of figure that I've like detested because of that. I do wish him well. I wish that he would, come out of the darkness he's in and find, faith in God and turn his life around. Because and it's just so clear to me with so many people in this atheist community, they're still around, a lot of them. And I look at them, and the ones that have kept on it, like their lives have remained so dark and twisted, and they just don't make the connection that it's a lack of God in their life that's, driving them to remain so unaware, so disconnected, so miserable. Yeah, he did a response to you too. Degenerate trash. Yeah, he was the reason you became an atheist. Okay. Yeah, he was big on like responding to people. I think he mentioned, or I heard, because of like the way I reacted after kind of being inundated by his fans. I was very hostile, and he had like asked me to debate him, and I was like, I will never talk to that man ever. And he was like, I guess he didn't realize that people would not appreciate getting, and my video was about pornography, and it was like very vulnerable, where I was talking about how horrible it is. It was like my first video ever talking about the subject. And there was a time where that was like mostly what my videos centered around was like the harms of pornography back in the day. So yeah, I just, it was like personally upsetting. It was very like a raw emotional video for me. And then I was like getting all these horrible, mostly males coming at me, being really abusive, with their language and insulting me. And like, it just, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate the time, I didn't handle it well because I wasn't, very healthy spiritually or mentally at that time either. So anyway, yeah, this came up and I thought I'd want to share it. I don't think they're going to care very much, really. Why do you think they're going to riot? Well, anyway, let's see this. The slow decay of an edgelord.
Hey, from everyone else. I'm outside the door. I'm outside the box. I'm outside the box that the box is in, motherfuckers. I'm way out there. I'm out in the stratosphere, And people fear ideas that are different. They don't need to fear them because it's not like I'm amassing some huge band of followers. It's not like everyone's like looking to me as some kind of leader or something.
A lot of people were.
I pose no threat to the status quo. I'm just myself. I'm just a man or a boy. Just a boy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember he got really upset because I said something like after it happened. I remember saying something about how he's just like he appeals to the lowest common denominator, and he responded to that. Yeah, or no, I said that in my video because I think maybe I was. Yeah, I think maybe he responded to me because I had mentioned him in my video. So maybe I'm not like, I wasn't totally innocent in it, but I was like, a small channel of less than 1,000 subs. And he had like 100K at the time, which back in the old days of YouTube was like, a lot. And it's still a lot. But yeah, I remember saying something like about how he appealed to the lowest common denominator. And he took a great deep offense to that. And I remember him in the video saying something like, actually, like, as if his opinions were somehow very radical and revolutionary because he was like an atheist and a libertarian. Like every man on the internet is an atheist and a libertarian pretty much, especially at the time. It was like, so that was just everywhere. Like that opinion was the most common. And if you deviated from that kind of perspective at all, like you would be taken out, you would be getting constantly inundated with those people. So, I mean, and it's still very much the case. People are like that. So anyway, whatever happened to Captain No Awesome? I know his channel imploded after he released that video of Ocean Abani, bastard. Anyway. Thomas. Well, anyway, let's continue.
Boy, just a little fucking boy. I can never be a man.
Interesting. Thomas James Kirk III was born on the 20th of February 1985 in California, but would move to Louisiana early in life and be raised in this state. TJ was a rebellious child who would get in trouble at school for not respecting the teachers. He says that he didn't really have any friends when he was younger, as he was more interested in creating personas and characters. While he was young, he was I'm not too sure of the details of this, but TJ said that this was a one-time thing in his words. He seems to have had a turbulent childhood, mainly with his father, who TJ claims would mistreat him. One day he would be shouting at him for no reason, making TJ feel powerless and inadequate. Then the next day he would be giving him words of encouragement to make him feel on top of the world. As a teenager...
So I need to respond to this. Van life is not nice. It is ghetto as hell. Don't ever talk yourself into living in a van, y'all. Because trust me, I've known people who've done it. It is one step above homeless. I mean, you basically are homeless, okay? You live very much like a homeless person. And I want you to really think about never having your own private shower or toilet. And, you know, like just think about that, especially for the women in the audience. Do not. Don't go there. I mean, I've known women who did it. Like I had a couple of friends who did it some years back. And like, okay, I mean, imagine getting your monthly while not having regular access to sanitation or having to go to the gym to clean yourself. Like how many times as a woman do you, like, especially during that time of the month, need to use the restroom to clean yourself? And it is very dangerous for women as well to be out, like you're just in a van. It's very easy to break into a van. You have to hide yourself. You have to find a place to park every night. Like, unless you have a place to, you know, park your van that's safe, like someone's yard or property, even then, like, because my friends who were doing it were mainly living on this farm, but it was so uncomfortable. Like, it was horrible. It was really horrible. But anyway, and that they were in a decent situation with it. So yeah, do not recommend the van life.
His father would pay him and his brother $40 a week to work full-time at the family business. So at this stage, we're just going to take a quick little detour to investigate his father and the family business, as it's pretty interesting, and I think it sheds a lot of light on the things that are to come later on in the story. Thomas James Kirk II operated a university in California in the 1980s. This was no ordinary university, though. In this prestigious center of learning, Mr. Kirk...
Thomas, but this guy isn't, you know, early in life. This guy is older than me. He's a middle-aged man living in a van. It's not anything to envy.
Would give out engineering degrees based on just looking at their resume, or give out law degrees based on completing exams designed for legal assistance. This went on for a while until Time magazine did a report on the university, quoting Mr. Kirk as saying he had no interest as an educator, but school was a good way to make money. After this, he left California and moved to Louisiana, where he renamed the university and placed it under the ownership of a religious group that he created called World Christian Church. He did this in order to get religious exemption from state education laws. He then took a vow of poverty before God in order to follow Christ's example. The university would tick over nicely in Louisiana, and Mr. Kirk was anything but poor, but sadly this would come to an end in the 1990s due to a large amount of government workers being awarded promotions and pay rises based on fraudulent degrees. His business was so successful that the FBI started to investigate it and discovered that the university had given out over 40,000 fake degrees, most of which were to high-level government workers. The school was then raided and shut down in 1996, with Mr. Kirk being arrested. This university was what is known as a diploma mill. At the school, there was only one member of faculty who served 15,000 students. This member of faculty only had one degree. You guessed it, her degree was a fake degree from this university. Mr. Kirk was charged with 18 crimes, including mail, fraud, and tax evasion. During the investigation, it was found that World Christian Church had more than $35 million in bank deposits and $10 million in cash and other assets. That's quite the vow of poverty. I think I'm in the wrong business. After a plea agreement, Mr. Kirk was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Shortly after he was sent to prison, his new wife opened an unaccredited distance education institution, which operated from a rented mailbox in Honolulu. Nice. Gotta keep the family business going, I guess. Some of the more notable people that got degrees from Mr. Kirk's diploma mill include a nutritionist who advised the US Olympic swimming team, a Massachusetts school superintendent. For my British viewers, the TV hypnotist Paul McKenna apparently got a degree from this place, and the president of a university in Illinois. Well, I bet you weren't expecting this side quest when you clicked on this video. Anyway, back to the main story. TJ claims that his father helped to teach him how to manipulate people, but that his father wanted to use this skill to get people to do what he wanted, whereas TJ used this skill to get people to believe what he believed, as he felt alone and like no one else in the world thought the way that he did. TJ was always very disconnected from people at school and socially overall, so he dropped out of school at the age of 16 with the hopes of being an author, and I guess he could always just get a degree from his father if he needed it. Well, as things turned out, his life would take an unexpected turn. On the 23rd of April 2005, the very first video was uploaded to a brand new website named YouTube. This video is titled Me at the Zoo and shows one of the creators of YouTube at the zoo. It could be argued that this moment was a paradigm shift in the world, one of the landmark moments that humanity was able to share its thoughts in unison, creating an organic neural network that would shape the future in previously unimaginable ways. This is what the unenlightened mind may think, but for those of us in the know, the true paradigm shift happened on the 20th of November 2006, when TJ Kirk set up a YouTube channel named The Amazing Atheist. TJ claims that when he started this channel, he was an angry loner who used it as a kind of therapy, speaking his mind into the void of the still new website. TJ had first mover advantage on YouTube and was helped even more by the popular genre that he had chosen. The new atheist movement had been growing since the early 2000s thanks to the work of people like Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens. TJ arrived on YouTube at the peak of the new atheists, a time when books like The God Delusion were being published and popular debates were being held all over the world. TJ was the unrefined, less intelligent Christopher Hitchens, appealing to the common man with angry rants rather than witty wordplay. At this stage in his life, he was a libertarian who would approach his criticism of religion from this viewpoint. But sadly, all of the videos from this time period have now been deleted due to his use of racial slurs. The first upload that now appears on his channel is an interview with Shirley Phelps Roper, who is a well-known member of the Westboro Baptist Church. TJ's brand of having the camera really close to his face and taking down Christianity while being self-deprecating proved to be popular, and his channel would grow from strength to strength.
I'm basically your average everyday person, I guess, you know, aside from the, you know, insanity and actual IQ and the triple digits, I guess. And I even seen a few people that are more arrogant and you know, just all around than I am. So I figure if these people can actually get halfway liked on YouTube, maybe I have a chance too. Probably not, but you know, because I'm sure I'm more arrogant than I even realize I am.
TJ would make many videos pointing out the contradictions in the Bible and trying to convert people to atheism, but weirdly his big break came from a video titled Transformers 5 ! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, lots of exclamation marks. In this video he plays with toiletries pretending that they are Transformers. That's it. That's the whole video. YouTube was a very different place 16 years ago. This video has been viewed more than 7 million times over its lifespan and remains the Amazing Atheist's most viewed video to this day.
I am your friend. I have come to save the human race from the evil Lucian Dispensator. No, we meet again.
That is always the dumbest guys that brag about their IQ.
When a high comes, sadly it is followed by a low, and the next video that he would post is to tell his viewers that his father had died of a heart attack.
We either have to pull the plug or he would be, you know, they said he had a minimal chance of survival, but he would most likely have brain damage, and he wouldn't have wanted that. So I probably won't be around for a while. The only reason I'm making this video now is because I really just don't know what else to do with myself. You I'm not gonna sit here and cry on the camera and all that. Maybe at some future date, because it is good entertainment, I have to admit.
His father's death seems to have been somewhat of a turning point for TJ. This is the time that he turned away from being a libertarian to become a liberal. While at the hospital visiting his father, he would see poor people queuing at the emergency room and started to believe that social programs are sometimes necessary. He has also stated that his stepmother attempted to steal the family's wealth after his father's death, and he doesn't really seem to like her very much. After TJ's grieving, he would get back to making videos again. These videos have the charm of YouTube of old. Low production quality, a normal person just speaking his mind about whatever he felt like with no filter. His videos ranged from comedy skits to religion, topical news to the top 10 cereals of all time.
Number 2, peanut butter crunch. It's the color of fetus. Nuff said. And the number 1 breakfast cereal of all time is Count Chocula.
All of his videos had one thing in common. TJ was always obnoxious and combative no matter what the topic he was talking about was. He would rant about anything and everything and his viewers loved him for it. Or maybe love is a bit strong. Even like might be a bit too much. But TJ was entertaining to watch. So more and more people would watch him, anticipating the next outrageous thing he would say, the next group that would fall victim to his venomous tongue. TJ had a popular series called Pwned, or sometimes pwnage. This odd-sounding word means to own or dominate your opponent, and this is just what TJ would do. He would robustly pwn random people on the internet, serving up pints of pwnage with the pony being left cold.
Yeah, that's what he did to me. He pwned me. Yeah, breakfast cereals, I do like grape nuts usually. I don't eat it very regularly. I don't even have any cereal in the house right now. So it's something that I get occasionally. It's not a big thing, but I like kind of more, I'm not into those like Count Choc. I would never, I don't say I would never eat it, but like, I didn't really grow up eating that kind of cereal. And I prefer, I prefer more like basic ones that are just, oh yeah, do you have Alpen? What kind of a shop doesn't have Alpen? It's outrageous. I have Alpen.
And pwned on the floor as TJ celebrated yet another pwning victory.
What? Mario is a fictional character, but he also exists. You hear that creepy face? Mario's real. Congratulations, Internet. Mario is real. Let's do Mario. It's a me, Mario. It's a me. I'm real now. I'm a fictional character, but I'm also somehow real.
In case you were wondering, TJ owns a katana and a fedora. Moving on, the Amazing Atheist was a rising star in the online atheist scene. He wasn't here to change people's minds really, he was more on a mission to upset and outrage what he saw as the existing narrative, to flip the board over and let the pieces settle where they may. His videos were rage bait, the kind of content that was very successful in the early days of YouTube, long before the all-powerful algorithm started to punish such sins. Hate clicks were just as good as any other clicks, so no topic was out of bounds for TJ. But as the name of his channel suggests, a lot of his content would revolve around religion, Christianity and Islam being the most common victims. By 2009, he had gained a lot of notoriety, so was invited to join a website called That Guy With Glasses, on which TJ would adopt a persona called the Distressed Watcher and do reviews of movie trailers. This didn't go too well for TJ, and in 2011 he was removed from the site after the website's audience started many petitions to have him removed. Things weren't all bad though, as back on his main channel he made a catchy little tune about blueberry pies.
Blueberry pie, blueberry pie. Everybody love the blueberry pie. Everybody love the blueberry pie. Everybody love the blueberry pie. All right.
Oh no, not the banana thing. No, 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 no.
The banana argument is an argument used by some Christians to prove the intelligent design theory due to bananas having the perfect form and function for humans to use. Most notably, a Christian named Ray Comfort claims that the banana was the atheist nightmare. Sadly for Ray, bananas have been selectively bred by humans to have the perfect form and function for us, with wild
like
bananas not
intelligent
being the
design
easy
to
to
me, then.
eat treat that most of us are used to. Ray was kind of correct though, as the banana was the nightmare of one particular atheist. That's right, our buddy TJ.
For real.
In 2011, a video started to get passed around the image boards of 4.
It's total double standards. Like, yeah. Oh wait, no. Dang it. I hate when I go to click on something and I click on the person under it. It's so dumb. Disregard Kale Smogi's ha ha ha. Stacy's comment. I wish women could be as crazy as him and succeed at it. For real. Imagine a woman up there just going blueberry pie, blueberry pie, blueberry pie. Like, come on. I've been insane on the internet and still here I dwell.
Showing TJ proving that bananas have the perfect form and
house.
function for other orifices than the mouth. A chocolate-covered banana, if you will. This video was spread far and wide across the internet and is probably what TJ is most known for, with people still talking about it to this day, mainly being the punchline of some kind of joke. The amazing atheist would make a video to address this incident, saying that he made this video to share with women that he was talking to online, and that he was not ashamed of doing this at the time, so he sees no reason to be ashamed of it now. He said this while eating a banana.
The things that I did because I enjoy them. I wasn't ashamed of them when I was doing them in private. I see no reason to be ashamed of them now that they've been made public. You know, and when the leak happened and I saw that it wasn't going to be contained, that it was going to spread like wildfire, I figure, well, who cares? My fans are pretty cool. They'll know what's up. They're not going to judge me for this.
This video seems to have split opinions. To the American viewers watching, I have an English accent. Therefore, the things that I say are inherently witty and smart. Therefore, this banana split pun that I've just made is intrinsically clever, and I shall hear no other opinion to the contrary of this. Anyway, guiding myself back to the topic, some people were gleeful that he admitted the wrong deed, and others embraced his honesty. Myself, I'm grateful for this video, as it means I didn't need to watch the banana video to verify it, so thanks for that, TJ. If you're watching, I doubt that you are. My eyes are a little less tainted than they otherwise would have been. I've also seen reports that this video shows him pouring hot oil onto a very small part of his body. A micro part of his body, some have said. But I'm unsure if this is true or not. Anyway, let's take a quick break from the timeline and look at some other notable things about this story in no particular order. One of the things that TJ is most known for is e-begging. He would ask his viewers to buy him stuff from Amazon or just give him money fairly regularly. One time he claimed that he wanted to make a documentary where he goes on a road trip interviewing famous atheists and creationists, but needed money to make this idea become a reality. So he did a photo shoot, wrote a manifesto and set up a donation button in order to raise the funds for this documentary. And his fans gave him thousands of dollars. But TJ never made this documentary and instead denied any memory of this event. Another time, his YouTube channel kept on getting suspended due to the outrageous things that he would say. So he decided to start his own website where he could post whatever he liked. But sadly, he didn't have enough money to make this happen. So he started a fundraiser. One of the ways that he raised money was to do a live stream with his friends. They all started to drink a lot, then kissed each other, repeatedly said slurs that began with N, banned people in the chat for not donating enough money, drunkenly started to play with knives, then started to play with loaded guns, with one of his friends pointing the gun at him.
Does anyone know Chris's current channel, Chris Anderson, the guy in the video? Fake Sagan? Because we were friends back in the day, and I know he's making videos, but I haven't been able to track him down, and I'd like to. Is that if anybody knows, it's Smooth Terrorist, Kate. Oh, Kate, I'm gonna add you as a mod, Kate. Would you be able to post the link? And go to my channel and get this up here. What the hell? How does it do this? Get this up. I was subbed to him, but he closed it down. Okay, so you don't know his current channel? Well, I do it as moderator anyway, because you're old school. I feel like I knew Smooth Terrorist. I feel like I knew that channel, but like I've heard he's doing a new. I heard he has another channel, but I just can't find it. I mean, it would be nice to because he sent me a Chinese communist flag years ago. I'm not really into weird stuff. I've just been on YouTube a long time, and I know a lot of YouTubers because of it. Okay, remember Hard Case owns you. Yeah, nothing's coming up. It's unfortunate. There's an archive from 15 years ago. Then another channel from 7 years ago.
You are disliked.
Oh my God. Okay, what's this? Fake Hard Christopher Sagan. What is this? This looks like it might be his channel. Oh my God, I think I found him, you guys. Whoa, okay. Looks like he streams too. That's crazy. Guys, I think I found him. Awesome. Because of his pro-Putin stance? Who isn't pro-Putin? Putin is fine as hell. Am I right or am I right? Vladimir Putin is fine. Am I missing something here? What's wrong? Like, literally, he's been fine my whole life. He's never stopped being fine. What's the problem? Literally, what a hunk. What an alpha. No, I'll share it in a little bit. Don't worry. We're going to get through this. Or no, maybe
himself and others, demanding that people donate or he'll do something bad. Then this friend lacerated his own arm for some reason and started to feel faint. So the live stream was ended and he was taken to hospital. You know, the classic way to raise funds for a startup business. No big deal. Somehow TJ would get enough money to open his website Free Speech Vids, which lasted for 16 months but didn't do too well due to low bandwidth, lack of a dedicated server and lack of
has nothing
sufficient
to do with
security, so
communism.
the website was closed down. TJ didn't make any attempt to refund anyone that donated and instead insulted everyone that was a member of the website. One of TJ's best friends claimed that TJ misappropriated the donations. After the failure of the first website, or the success of the first website, depending on which way you view it from, TJ decided to try again and raised funds for a website called Not Productive. It is estimated that he raised $17,000 for this website. This was to be a place where he would get other content creators to post quality videos. The cream of the crop. People like the Ranting Robots, who are two fully grown men who dress like robots and talk to their fully grown viewers about religion.
And that's what our concept, Not Productive, is. It's a place for high quality content.
We are the Ranting Robots, we are atheists, and the human Bible is complete and utter nonsense.
That's money well spent right there. Unsurprisingly, the website didn't do very well. This website was shut down after 2 weeks due to it being full of bugs and glitches. TJ also has a few other YouTube channels, one of which is called TJ Does Life, and the other is a gaming channel called TJ Kirk. He also got to fulfill his childhood dream of being an author with such unforgettable titles as Neckbeard Uprising, Musing of a Subhuman, and The Douchebag Bible. He is apparently also a songwriter who has written lyrics for other people. So, back to the timeline. In 2011, he started to upload a new kind of content speaking about how everything was offensive these days. This type of content was just sprinkled in every now and again, with his channel still mostly being him ranting about random things. Then he made a video titled, "It's Only Sexist When Men Do It." This video was a big success for TJ, so he started to make more videos of this kind, with this new type of content getting noticeably more views than his other stuff that he was making. His channel had found a new lease of life and began to grow more and more. By 2012, he had reached over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he was making waves on other websites as well. On Reddit, he would say some very harsh things to a woman who...
Yeah, I'm done with this. Yeah, he you know. Let me refresh this.
This type of content was just sprinkled in every...
Okay, so yeah, I found Chris's channel. Let's look at his latest upload 2 months ago.
Greetings, citizens of YouTube, all glory and honor to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the Most Holy Theotokos, because today is her special day, the entrance of the Theotokos into the temple. But I know that's not going to stop me from saying a bunch of messed up stuff in this video, because honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video, guys. I just...
It's Chris, y'all.
Normally I have a plan when I turn on the camera. My frog is talking. But this time, hi, Avi. Hi. He's gonna do that the whole time. He likes to talk to me when I'm talking. And it's dead silence if I'm not talking, but if I try to make a video or something, like he likes to have conversations. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is what happens when somebody breaks the internet. I don't know where to begin. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I just decided, I'll see what happens and figure out what to title it when it's in the can and finished, because I don't even know where I'm going to begin this time. There's so much ground to cover. We got the Elon Musk Twitter fiasco going on. We got Kanye on Alex Jones.
That new guy.
And if you haven't watched that whole 3-hour-long episode of InfoWars, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
You better come back
like
with
if you've only seen clips of it and you haven't seen the whole thing, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just watch it. That's all I got to say.
I know he
and it didn't break the internet, by the way. It fixed the internet.
Look at all of us. Look at all of us. Seriously, this is the truth. He looks amazing compared to how he used to look. Like, he looks so much more healthy. He looks like he has so much more peace. He looks like sane. You know what I mean? Like, look at me. Look at all of us. Who, the proof is in the pudding. So yeah, his channel. We'll get to it. We're gonna. Well, here, let me show you his channel. It's called Fake Hard Christopher Sagan. He has 12 subscribers, and he last uploaded 2 months ago. Let's watch a little bit more.
That we were all waiting for that to happen. Like, we're in the best timeline now. Everything is just converged. It's unbelievable. It's a great time to be alive. I don't even know where to begin, but okay, let's
Chris, look at him.
Let's start with Twitter. Let's start with Elon Musk. I got to start somewhere, right? The response that I'm seeing from conservatives on YouTube is making me sick to my stomach. That there's so many right-wing and conservative content creators. You know, I'll stick to the term conservative instead. Like, I describe myself as a right-winger. You want to know why? Because I don't like this label conservative. It kind of tells me that you're a cuck. There's nothing left to conserve. So, like, if that's your viewpoint, like, you're Ben Shapiro, you know. And these guys are just lining up to give Elon Musk sloppy head.
Girl, I would not be
so ugly and it's so disgusting. I've seen remarks such as, like, Elon Musk is a hero and Elon Musk is the bravest man in America. Are you fucking kidding me? Gag me. You guys are gonna make me throw up with this shit. Like, suck his dick, why don't you? It's so it's so ugly. It's so disgusting. Are you for real? This guy is not a free speech advocate at all. He's a grifter, and he's always been a grifter. All right, this dude was already the richest man in the world when he was, like, ripping off millennials for their milk money with Dogecoin. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that he never amuses me. Like, you know, like, I've watched his Rogan interviews, and he's interesting. Okay, I'm not going to take that away from him. Like, when Elon Musk talks, I always listen because he always has something interesting to say. But I don't like the guy. I don't like, and I damn sure don't trust him. And bravest man, and like, for one thing, this whole thing he's doing about saying that he's not suicidal, in case the Clintons come to get me. Give me a fucking break. Nobody's coming after Elon Musk. This guy's probably got, like, Blackwater and the Wagner Group guarding him 24/7 at the same time. He's the richest man in the world. He's a fucking James Bond villain. Nobody's gonna hurt Elon Musk. So like, him saying that is just pure clown world theatrics. It's completely absurd. I mean, you don't even hear Kanye saying that shit. And I feel like he's legitimately at risk of some retribution. But then we got Elon saying it. Fuck you, Elon. And this guy is like telling us Americans how our free speech works, right? This apartheid South African cocksucker is telling us how free speech, and he's tweeting out like, oh, you know, well, when Twitter censors you, it's okay. But when the Democratic Party tells Twitter to censor you, that's a violation of your First Amendment. Fuck you, Elon. Fuck you. You shouldn't have Section 230 protection at all, okay? You are a publisher. You're not a common carrier like AT&T or something. Like, all these social media giants have been getting away with murder forever. And who called it out first, by the way, YouTube? Who called it out before anybody? You're looking at them. I'm never going to get the credit I deserve, thanks to censorship. But like, I've been talking about this shit since 2006, 2007. You know, because back in the day, we had a little thing going on YouTube called the Ponage Wars, where it was kind of like a mudslinging war of all against all, and everybody was trying to, like, insult and put each other down. I happen to be very good at it, and so I was constantly getting banned and censored by YouTube before Google even bought them. Before, you know, and I was up here saying we need free speech on these big social media platforms, and everybody left, right, and center, and I mean that in the strictest definition, leftists and right wingers were saying, "Oh, dry up your tears, snowflake. They're a private company. They can do whatever they want. It's not censorship." So I was dealing with these libertarian arguments way back when in the fucking day, and nobody, not even Alex Jones, was making the argument that I was, that these guys need to be regulated the same as the phone company. So you're looking at a pioneer of internet free speech right here. Not that I'll ever get the fucking credit I deserve, thanks to Susan. Because she's got a special hard-on for me, in case you guys haven't noticed that. Like when I did my little guest debate about the Ukraine war on Trash Rats, Mumpke Jones made this remark, "Oh, I wonder how many new subscriptions Christopher Anderson's going to get after appearing on my podcast." And I said right away, I was like, "None, bro, none." So like I've been around for a fucking dog's age on this website, and Susan's keeping me right where she wants me to be. And I was right. You know, I got like maybe a couple hundred subs off that. It was no fucking big deal. So, like Mumpke Jones thinks he's swinging around a big fucking 20-inch dick and he was going to blow my channel up. I'm like, no, bro, learn how the algorithm works. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, dang it.
Anyway, where was I? I was really getting off.
That's too bad. Where is he? It shouldn't be this hard to find him. He's not nobody. Like, and he's been around forever. Like, why is he so hard to find? Why? Well, what else do we got here that I might want to share? I watched those a while back too. Yeah, I don't know. I do have some Donahue saved, but I don't know if I want to get into Donahue just right now. I don't know. Let's watch this one. The River Phoenix, Lisa Bonet, and Raul Julia.
Let me just make this point here. She's now 22, first starred in the Cosby series when she was 16 years old. This led to a spinoff. You knew that, A Different World, starred with Mickey Rourke in Angel Heart. Has a beautiful 16-month-old daughter married to Lenny Kravitz. Here is Lisa Bonet.
We're not married no more.
Listen, they're crazy about you. Didn't vaccinate the baby.
And had her at home.
And had the baby at home, did you? Didn't go with all the rubber gloves and all that?
Right.
I'll tell you. And you breastfed your baby?
I'm still breastfeeding.
Did you lie down for the delivery? Yes, you're not.
I was squatting.
Did you do that too? All right, let me tell you who else is here. Our next guest has never had a baby in his life. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, you know him for his performances on stage, television, and film, notably Kiss of the Spider-Woman, Tequila Sunrise, and a whole bunch of other things. Here is Raul Julia. Listen to this one. went to school at home when he was a kid. His parents didn't send any of his, he has 5 children, one of 5 kids, never went to school. For a little while. Shh, I haven't introduced you yet. You know him as, hey, only Best Supporting Actor nomination, Academy Award nomination for Running on Empty. His latest film is on the marquee as we speak. I Love You to Death. Here's River Phoenix.
Oh, River.
All right. Let me tell you what is not so funny. These are very politically active young artists who give a darn, as we say in the afternoon on television, about a lot of things. Now, let's start with Lisa. You, first of all, you have forsworn meat and dairy. You don't eat it at all, not even, no. No meat, no dairy. Let me see if I can guess what's the staple of your diet. I bet you eat pasta.
I like pasta.
And you eat a lot of birdseed and green vegetables and all that. I mean, is there protein in this? You look fine to me, but I am wondering.
I feel good. I eat just about everything except for meat. And I mean, there are so many other things to eat: fruit and nuts and.
You have become very, very. You are very impressed, and in many ways, your own diet and your own lifestyle now has been significantly determined by John Robbins, who was an heir to the Baskin-Robbins ice cream fortune, and walked away from what could have been some kind of career for him. I'm sure he would have run the place, in order to get into what he saw was a whole lot of stuff going on in the world that he didn't like, and one of those would be, I assume you share his feeling that our preoccupation with meat and dairy products has polluted the earth, has caused, we don't know about the chemicals in this thing. It's not good for us, and we've been sold a bill.
Cancer, colon cancer. It's very serious. You know, all my life, I've only heard about the 4 basic food groups and how
What an idiot.
essential these things are
Machine
to our
toxic
existence.
diet on people.
And yet, when you read the statistics and educate yourself about what's in it and what's it doing to our body, it's very scary. It's not good for us, and it's not good for the planet.
You think the lobbying, the agribusiness and all this, I'm sure.
Total manipulation to keep a lot of people very rich.
You feel that the political pressure or the marketing pressure to buy meat and dairy is not unlike the pressure on women in the 50s and 60s not to breastfeed. Do I understand?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it only weakens us, and it keeps us going back to the doctors, keeps our children weak, and we've completely turned, we don't live to eat, you know, we eat to live, and we seem to forget that.
Well, Raul, how do you fit in here? Do you share Ms. Bonet's personal
Yes, I must say I'm a neophyte as far as I've just started reading John Robbins' book, and I find it very important. And I've been working with the Hunger Project since 1977. So my commitment really, and as well as the commitment of 6.2 million people over the world, is to the end of hunger by the end of the century. But I find that it's all related. The environment and ending hunger is all very much related to a better world. What the Hunger Project specifically is about is through education and enrollment and communication to generate the will to end hunger in so far as we make it a priority in the political and economical agenda, so that we actually create opportunity for those people who are hungry to feed themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't need to be hungry. You know?
No, they don't. I'm just wondering, don't accuse me of cynicism. Now I have to ask you these questions. It's so overwhelming, hunger in the world. And the politics of this thing, and whose side are you on, and are they starving because it's not there? Are they starving because some guy is who's leading the community? How much money do we give to African nations versus Western white?
Well,
you know, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's overwhelming if we don't know anything about it. I think ignorance is what makes us overwhelmed. Once we learn the truth about the hunger, for example, or the environment, and how we can contribute, and how very much it's within our power, really, to do it, and to end hunger and to improve the environment and to save children from diseases and starvation and from false vaccinations and things like that. Once we educate ourselves, then it's much easier. It's ignorance that makes us feel overwhelmed about things.
Jump in here, River, and as you do, let me remind this audience, as I've said, you're the oldest of 5 children. I assume you were brought to ecological awareness as a very early, when you were a kid, huh?
Luckily, yes.
Your parents?
Yes, my parents shared a lot of untold truths to me.
And your
Yeah, I'm
your
looking
name is
for Chris,
River. That's
y'all.
your name.
Yeah.
And what are your siblings' names?
Rain,
Seeing if I
Liberty,
can
Summer,
find
and
him.
Joaquin.
And this sounds Native American, are you?
I have a little in there.
Maybe I need to pray.
As much as you can get, I bet you hope. The first citizens who cared about the earth were Native American, certainly in this part of the world. So let's hear from you here now. You've joined 2 other politically active artists.
Glad to be here.
And tell me what moves you
Well,
here?
I would like to redefine for everyone here, if possible, what is an environmentalist. I think that we all just have that natural birthright to be so. It shouldn't be a label. In fact, if the government has any qualms about it, they should put it in perspective of maybe the defense budget, whereas this is defense that we're talking about, defense for our life support system. And let's divert some of these funds and put them into a direction that might save all of mankind.
I tell you what, it's not an F-117A,
I know,
you know what I mean? And I don't know if my brother-in-law is going to get a job if you guys take over here. You see, the problem is, I'm sure you know, we've got an economy that's very much built on war and Christmas. And it's awfully hard to get people to, it's hard to get people, global warming, I don't know, what do you think? You know, it's not a baby in a well.
What kind of life can anyone with success have if we have no stability, if we have no air to breathe, if we have no, it's like we can't even get along with each other until we have a place to do it from.
Well, this point should also be made too, before I collapse here of my own cynicism. You're signing up hundreds and hundreds of people a day into various parts of this effort.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very misleading to suggest that people don't care. I don't mean to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
they do care. And everyone cares. It's just like, where do you start?
But, well, the question is, how much of the caring then is moved to political? Well, the question is, how much of the caring then is moved to political action? How many people are going to sit in a small room on a wooden chair listening to somebody with slides, trying to help them make their own contribution? That's
That's not where it has to begin. It begins with making yourself aware and changing your habits at home,
As consumers, we have so much responsibility, and that's, I think, what we all need to assume more so, especially once the information has been given, clearly. I read John Robbins' book, and it shed so much light on all this, and I had no idea. No matter how much someone tells you hear, until you read it for yourself and have the statistics and the scientists to back it.
Yeah. Just some of we'll talk to John in just a moment.
Okay. I was going to say, look, how people are going to be moved to political action. They'll be moved to political action where they're outraged at what's going on. And what is going to outrage them is education, information, communication, and then enrollment. And then they'll move to political action. Anybody that says that ending hunger in the planet is impossible hasn't looked at what's happened in the past year when all the communist dictatorships of Eastern Europe, nobody could predict that. Everybody said it's impossible that communism will end in the planet, So don't give me any more excuses that it can't be done. Anything can be done when a critical mass of people get behind it, and hunger is no exception.
And your cynicism is right, I think, because it is thought-provoking, and we need to be the devil's advocate, on all these matters.
Soil erosion alone. Apparently, we are quite literally losing
the downfall
fertile
of the
soil.
greatest civilizations. Loss of topsoil.
And global warming now, that's apparently, that has happened, and certainly enough members of the scientific community have stood up to say so. And so here we are. It's the only neighborhood we got. It is called the planet Earth. River, what do you remember about the book, just before we meet John? I mean, what are some of the things? First of all, let's talk about meat for a second. You got to kill an awful lot of animals in order to ship a small quantity of meat to a marketplace. That's one problem. A mountain gives birth to a mouse here.
We have species that we haven't even discovered yet in the rainforest that have been mutilated and are forever lost, and plant lives and medicines and all sorts of amazing properties that take millions of years to develop, and then in a single day we just cut it down. 2 football fields every 2 seconds or something, and it's so that we can have cheaper hamburgers. And I think that
convenience. Right now it's convenient for us to chop down the rainforest.
Yeah, these vegetarians.
But when we have no more rainforest left and we are having a hard time breathing, it's going to be too late.
What do you feed?
You know how much?
And
like that's such a stupid argument.
Let me finish. She's still nursing, and then I give her protein-enriched pasta and soy yogurt. She's very picky. She likes guacamole. She likes broccoli.
Wow, that poor child.
She likes rice.
No wonder she looks so emaciated.
A woman in the front row going. No, listen, I don't know anybody who's going to, you obviously love your baby and you're an enlightened mother and everybody should have that.
That's
and your
why
baby
I'm here.
does. Huh?
I said, that's why I'm here, to share what information I've learned.
Yeah. Now tell me, Lisa, just, we got to, if they want to ask you about it, and they will, it's legal, but we don't want to have too many subjects in the air to get confused.
I mean, I've been scrolling a while. I don't think I'm going to find him.
I'm scared, and I'm scared to vaccinate her, which is why I didn't vaccinate her in the first place, and which led me to read about the warnings that are out there. And what I've learned are there warnings about introducing these alien microorganisms into our children's blood and the long-term effects, which could be trivial or they could be quite hazardous, and they could be just allergies or asthma or sleep disorders, or they could be cancer, leukemia, multiple sclerosis, sudden infant death syndrome. It's very scary and it's very serious, and I think because I felt wrong doing it, that's why I didn't do it.
I can't listen to any more of this vegetarian nonsense. I really can't. This woman's face is how I feel. That this woman is summing it up for me. What about y'all? That relatable. She's summing it up, man. That is so funny. Dang. She doesn't believe a dang thing they're saying. That is funny. Play Trump on Donahue. Are you looking? You looking at what I got saved? Here we go. Okay. All right. Trump on Donahue.
As you know, you're the Fat Cat developer, and the book on you is that you throw little old ladies who can't afford the rent out of the apartment.
I don't think that's the book on me, if you want to know.
Well, certainly
I don't think it is at all. I think probably it's just the opposite. We have very wealthy people in this particular building. We have a building on 100 Central Park South, probably the best piece of real estate in New York in the world. And we have very wealthy people, extremely wealthy people living in this building.
Well,
we have second homes.
It's not quite accurate to say that every occupant is an extremely wealthy
person. The ones that were complaining were the wealthy ones. The ones that were complaining, Phil, were the wealthy ones. These are people with a lot of money. One of them owns a brownstone, a number of brownstones on East 66th Street, and yet she's living in this building for a rent-controlled rent. The rent-controlled people, the people that need rent control, they're not the ones that are protected. It's people that are usually wealthy with a lot of influence that have the connections to get a rent-control apartment. People that might need it, they don't have rent-control apartments.
That's true.
Well, that's a little facile. I mean, that's a little bit like saying, those people are out of work because they're lazy.
No, it's
I think it may be. Well, first of all, let's the building on Central Park South has been settled. You own it, and you've made your deal with all the residents.
We're very happy with it.
Score one for you.
Very happy.
Back to this lawsuit. So you hire Roy Cohn, and he goes to work, and you win it. Cohn doesn't like lawyers either because they always want to settle, and you don't like that about lawyers. The idea of settling drove me crazy. The fact was that we did rent to blacks in our buildings. What we didn't do was rent to welfare cases, white or black. I watched what happened when the government came after Samuel Lafrac, another builder, and he caved in and started taking welfare cases. They virtually ruined his buildings. Welfare cases ruined his buildings. Isn't that, aren't you pretty close here to looking like an insensitive guy from atop your Trump Tower looking down on the Woolman Rink over the vast holdings of your own empire? Shouldn't we have just a little more understanding from a man of your influence and wealth on the issue of making New York livable for all of us, safety on the subway? If the answer is absolutely, then we can't continue to give you guys these big tax breaks. And that would go for General Electric and NBC too. You tell us in your own book that you would make money on the Trump Tower in New York,
but when everybody else
without the tax break.
So when everybody else in the city gets it, but Donald Trump, when Koch and the administration tries to stop Donald Trump.
Yo, Cecil, this is so true. I think the longest I ever went without a job when I was like wanting a job was a month tops. That's how long it took me to get a job. A month. When I was, out of work and needed a job and was like, I was looking for a job like daily. And honestly, most of the time, it's much easier than that to find a job if you really want to work, So I know, Cecil, I see hiring signs on tons of places I go to. And then there's all the other jobs out there, that you just need to do a little research to get, or, you could just ask people that's often the best way to get hooked up with a job is just, to ask your friends, your old coworkers, your family. They'll hook you up. But a lot of people don't want to work, or they don't want to do something that they think is beneath them. I can't stand people like that, honestly. Like, what makes you so important? I mean, it's true. I mean, a lot of people too. I've known so many people who were like well-educated who refused to work. Like they had degrees, but they wouldn't like humble themselves just to get a job because they think they should be hired as some kind of like in some sort of position that they didn't earn. Like they don't have to work their way up through a company. I mean, and I know not every economy is the same in every town, and sometimes it can be more difficult depending on where you live. And if you don't have like reliable transportation, that's going to make it harder too. There are things that can make it harder for you to get a job, but like, there's no reason why an able-bodied person can't get a job or find something productive to do that earns some money. Even if it's just, doing menial tasks for your neighbors. Like, honestly, there's no reason why somebody shouldn't have an income coming in. And it's really like astounding when you look at like how people come to the US with literally no connections, nothing to their name. They don't know anybody. They don't even speak the language, and they start working. They might not even be documented. The people who grew up here, spent their whole life living here, like, that's true, Cecil, but it's not, public transportation isn't always reliable. Like, it's very reliable where I live, but in most cities it's not. But even so, when I was a teenager, I took the bus to my jobs, when I was working. And it came like once an hour, and it sucked, but I got used to it and I did it because it's what I needed to do. But my dad didn't like tolerate that. He didn't let me not work. Right, Sabrina, you're in Connecticut, right? I've heard they don't have any public transportation there. It's wild to me. But I mean, like I said, not all situations are the same. I knew somebody who lived very rural, like he grew up very rural. He didn't have a car. His family, were very poor. And the closest business was like at least 30 minutes hike, from the property he lived on, and it was a Walmart. And I know that was like, he had tried to get a job there, but that wasn't working out for him. So I know and he had a lot of health problems too, but like he wasn't able-bodied as well. So, I mean, there's that. We'll say that he wasn't able-bodied, but I see all kinds of fit young people not working. And when I was their age, I wasn't even that fit, but I worked 2 jobs. So yeah, I'm maybe I'm being judgy, maybe, but I was just raised that wasn't acceptable, and I don't really tolerate it in other people. It's not like, I'm not really being judgy, I don't think. It's just, people have to be equally yoked, and that's true of friendship connections, and it's true of relationships. And I just see a lot of like people out here making more excuses than they do solutions for their problems, and that's the real problem in this world, is that people would rather make and use their energy to come up with excuses than find solutions to their problems. Yeah, I mean, I know people who run dog walking businesses and make a lot of money, make more than enough to pay their bills, and they stay fit doing it too.
And I don't say give me the tax breaks. I say don't give everyone else the tax breaks. If every other building being built in New York City is entitled to a residential tax abatement, and Trump Tower goes, and I'm not entitled, I'm the only building in the city of New York that's not entitled, I don't think that's appropriate.
Look at the location of your building.
What difference does it make? There are other wonderful locations. Phil, there are other wonderful locations also that are also getting tax abatements. I won the case. They didn't give it to me. It took me 2.5 years in court. I won it 7-0 in 3 different courts, and I'm very happy about it. I didn't win it because I so much needed it as much as because on a moral principle I was entitled to it. If nobody's going to get it, I'm satisfied. If everybody's going to get it, I shouldn't be the only one that's not getting it, Phil. And I know you well enough to know that you wouldn't take it either. If you were in my position, you wouldn't take that. So that's what happened.
Hey, let's hear it for the rich folks.
But you tell us also in your book, you left Queens and you left Brooklyn for Manhattan to get away from rent control. You're honest to tell us in this book.
I'm honest. Hey, I'm not running for anything, Phil. I'm not running for office. I don't have to lie in a book. I want to tell the facts, okay? Rent, I mean, do you want me to say little fibs and little this and little that and how much we all love rent control and what a great thing it's been for New York? It's been a disaster for New York. It's badly hurt New York. It's crippled New York. It's made it impossible for a lot of people to live in New York. And you see what's happening. You look at the Bronx, you look at certain parts of Queens and Brooklyn, you see what rent control's done. And I think you know it as well as anybody else. Rent control, and I'm one of the few developers in the world that would ever say it, some forms of rent control are sometimes necessary to protect the elderly, to protect people that truly don't have the money. But when you have multimillionaires, and not all instances of this, Phil, there's not all instances, but you go to Manhattan, the prime sections of Manhattan, where you have rent control and rent stabilization all over. Those are wealthy people in many instances. And I don't mean in every instance, Phil, but I mean in many, and I would say in a majority. You have multi-millionaires in some cases living in apartments for $200, $300, and $500 a month that should be paying many times. This is going to sound a little unusual, but New York rents can be $10,000 and $20,000 a month. What does that mean? What does that mean, Phil? That means that the city can't tax because if a wealthy person is paying $300 a month, you can't really tax that beyond a certain point, 20% of that or whatever it might be. So the city is always short of funds. It's a joke what's happened. And the people that need rent control, and there are some indeed, those aren't the people that have it. It's the people with the connections. Somebody knows Trump. Somebody knows somebody else. They call up. They say, do me a favor. That's what it's all about.
If this audience wants to get in here, Mr. Trump, sir, if your position is,
I promise.
let's grant a given. No doubt about it. Under rent control circumstances, there are going to be certain people who don't need it who get it. Not unlike Social Security. There are going to be some people who get it who don't need it. But to suggest that rent control is somehow being pervasively abused throughout the island of Manhattan by people who don't need it, I do have plenty of doubt.
Well, you ought to check the numbers, Phil. I mean, I can tell you something. Now, one little thing. All I'm asking for is a simple thing. Give a means test. If a person makes $150,000 a year working in a big advertising agency, if a person makes $200,000, $300,000, $100,000, $75,000 a year, means test so that person will give the apartment to somebody that can afford it if you have to do that, Phil. Why can't there be a means test? Why should multimillionaires live for $300 or $400 a month when poor people are paying more than that and have to pay more?
And how many people would have to work in the office to determine whether or not people are of means or not of means? And would you build the building? It'd be a very large one, occupied by thousands of bureaucrats trying to figure out who does and who doesn't.
You wouldn't.
It isn't that simple. Just to, and what
about the kind of money you're talking about? If you emptied and made available to people that need really this protection, the apartments occupied by very wealthy people. In New York, you're talking about tremendous amounts of money. And I mean, if you're talking about a number of accountants in order to administrate a program, you're not talking about a lot relative to what we're talking.
You should not have called Mayor Koch a moron. That was not good public relations.
Hey, what can I do?
Well, aren't you a little, don't you want to take this back at all?
I don't think that's bad public relations. No, I don't take it back. When it comes to running the city, he's about as bad as anybody I've seen. Ed Koch has been a disaster for New York. People that live in New York understand it. Taxes have gone through the roof. Everything's gone through. You have, whether it's a Wallman rink or a subway system, whether it's a school that comes in, it takes 8 or 9 years.
Excuse me, but here you're out with your folks at City Hall getting your picture taken. Was it good old days?
Well, I guess you liked me in those days.
No, I just think that, and this is, and I don't think you have to be passionately committed to City Hall or anybody to conclude that this kind of language from someone of your power and influence is not good style.
Phil, from my standpoint, it doesn't really matter. Again, I'm not running for office. If the point is made better by saying that, let the point be made. He's done a lousy job as the mayor. Anybody from New York probably understands it and knows it. It's gone down now, and it's going down as the most corrupt. Hey, Phil, this is the most corrupt administration in the history of the city.
They have their problem.
I happen to agree with your assessment of Mayor Koch in New York City. What do you think will finally have to happen to bring his downfall?
Well, I have a feeling, and maybe it's more of a prediction. I think that the incompetence and corruption of the Koch administration will eventually lead to his resignation or his just having to be forced out, because I think he's that bad. And as Phil says, I don't like mincing words, because what difference does it make? Again, I'm not running for office, so it doesn't matter. I can stand up here, and unlike a lot of people that I watch, I can say what I think. But that's much of a prediction. I believe that the incompetence and corruption will ultimately lead to his having to get out. When I see a total ripoff of this country by Japan, where they literally have no defense budget, where we have to borrow money from them in order to get them oil and defend the Persian Gulf, where most of the oil goes to Japan and other countries, not us. We get 4% of our oil. When I see Kuwait, a total ripoff, we're bringing the Bridgeton. You remember the Bridgeton? Their oil minister sat back and he laughed at how much money he's going to make. Why aren't we getting some of that money? Why aren't we getting it? They're taking in billions and billions of dollars. And we can't even land a helicopter on Kuwaiti soil. You tell me that's right. Saudi Arabia, they wouldn't even be there except for us. And in Saudi Arabia, we couldn't even use their minesweepers, Phil. You know it. We said, could we use your minesweepers? Ours are old, outdated, not worth a damn. They said, no, you can't use our minesweepers to protect the Persian Gulf. I mean, it's a disgrace. What's going on?
On his enemies. If people screw me, I screw back in spades.
I mean, is there something wrong with that? Tell me. Well, is there something wrong with that?
Well, a confrontational kind of, I'll get you used.
You keep saying you're not running for office, but why don't you?
No, I wouldn't want to run for mayor of New York. I'd like to see somebody talented do that, and there's a tremendous potential in New York. New York is the great city. It's one of the great places of the world, but I really have no intention of running for mayor. Thank you.
But you definitely are a political person, whether you run for office, by what everything that you say and do points in that direction.
Interesting.
As well as all your brothers and sisters. Do I understand that?
Yes.
9 of your siblings have college degrees. Is that so?
Yes, that's correct.
Uh-huh. So you were a little girl and you lived in a white neighborhood?
Yes, we did.
Suburban Denver?
Yes.
Black people never came to your house?
No. We didn't live in Denver. We lived in a suburb called Westminster. East Denver, northeast Denver is where blacks live. We lived in a suburb called Westminster.
Uh-huh. And when did you first, tell them about, was it your big brother, huh?
Yes.
Tell me.
One of my brothers came home when I was 9 years old when this happened. One of my brothers came home and he was called a nigger at school. And he came home and my second oldest brother sat the 4 youngest children down and told them that we were black, but we were not going to go as black. And it was our family secret and not to tell anyone else. So we just discussed it within the household, never outside.
Huh. And
I know you're black.
should we call this a
How do
closet?
you hide that?
Yes. Yes.
And when did you come out of the closet?
I came out when I was 18 when I started college and wasn't around my family anymore.
You felt an obligation to your family to continue the, shall we call it a lie?
Well, I think at first we were taught to pass, and I also did feel an obligation. And also, when it first came out, I know when I was told, I just thought I was adopted. I didn't like it very much. I didn't like being black or being told that I was black.
And then when you became 18, you said, why don't I like this? This is what racism is all about. Is that pretty much?
Yeah, when I went to college, I decided that that's what I was black, and I was going to see. Well, I kind of thought I was black and white, so I was going to see the other side.
And did you wear an afro and dashiki, or how did this blackness, this newfound interest in being who you were, express itself?
Well, first I tried to be political. I tried to join the Black Student Union. I could not. The blacks would not let me join. So the only way I first came out as black is by dating black men. That's where I first started getting the culture and learning about it.
Share with me just the pressure here. Being black
You want to do
means a certain signature, a visible persona. And did you think you didn't have it?
No, to us, it wasn't like that. Passing isn't like that. Passing is when you're taught that if you expose a secret, you could end up dead. My mother told me and other people in the family, she taught us in her own way that if we exposed ourselves, that we could lose our lives behind it. She told a story about one of my sisters is dead, and we would ask, how did Octavia die? And my mother would tell a story about how they lived in a street on South May Street in Chicago. It was block by block integration. And my parents lived in a white block, and at the end of the block there was a black church. So they were going as white, and the way my mother told it is that some people found out that we were black. They broke out the window. My sister, who was premature, died of pneumonia. So when she told that story, it wasn't to say, you know, what it said to me as a child is that if the secret got out, that we could end up dead. That's the way I took it as a child. But my mom, sometimes I think it really bothered her to pass. It bothered her a lot.
Girl, what secret? I'm going to have to wrap it up there tonight. I think my cat's done with my nonsense. He doesn't want me sitting here anymore. And, you know, he's right. It's past bedtime. It's been past bedtime. Why am I not in bed? So thanks for being here and chilling. We did some fun things. We had my nice haul at the beginning of goodies I got shopping this weekend, and she could pass for Hispanic and Italian with some effort. Maybe. I don't know about Italian. I could see maybe Puerto Rican, but I'd still be thinking she was black. She's very dark. I don't know. Kate says, remember he said something nice? Yeah, I mean, no, Fake Sig and I are cool. We're always buddies. I just haven't kept up with him in like years. I remember I subscribed to like one of his old channels. And I used to watch his blog TVs sometimes, but yeah, it's been years. Thought that was Trump's wife. Mixed breeds are new phenotypes. What does that mean? No, you're not going outside. Get away from that door. You're not going outside. She does look a little bit like Melania. Yeah, Melania always has that really dark tan going. It's interesting when you see old photos of her because she was like, you know, had normal skin. Why do white people do that? Like, why do they do that to their skin? It just looks like leather. I'm not trying to be insulting because I think Melania is beautiful, but like, I don't think it's, you know, don't tan yourself to that degree. It's weird. Like, embrace what you look like. There's no, like, unless you were out in the sun every freaking day for hours, you wouldn't have skin like that. So it's just odd to me. Yeah, God bless all the cats and the kitties in cat heaven. I'm sorry you hit a kitty. That would be very hard. I'm wrapping it up. Stop yelling at me. I'm wrapping it up. You don't need to yell at me. Dang. Oh, you don't need to run through the house acting up either, though. There we go. Look at him. You ticked? Are you ticked? What you doing? Meow. Look at them eyes. Look at those eyes glowing. Wheel. Wheel. Wow. Wow. Yeah. You ticked? All right. Yeah. Good night, everybody. I hope y'all are well. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with the Art of the Deal. Want to get back into reading that. But this was a fun chill stream. We had fun. I had fun. It was fun. All right. Good night. Yeah, he has his little thing. He perches there and he climbs it and does his thing. Yeah. Well, good night.